Extra Lounge. I hope you enjoyed Legends of Tomorrow, and thanks for watching.
What's up, nerd family? Welcome once again to the Poindexter Lounge. My name is Enosh, aka Enosh Fett, and it is good to have you with me in the lounge today. Now, look, if this is your first time to the lounge, just know this: the Poindexter Lounge is a place for nerds. It's a place where you and me and my whole crew, all of you guys who are in here, can get together and talk about the things that we love. Things like TV shows, movies, games, sci-fi, fantasy, comic books, superheroes, toys, and so much more. Everything pop culture, that's what we discuss here. And if those are things that you enjoy, if those are things that get you excited, then you are in the right place. So please hit that subscribe button and also that notifications bell so that you know when we put out new videos. And then also, please, if you like what you see here, if you like what's going on around here, we put out live videos, we do call-in shows, we do watch parties, we do all kinds of fun stuff here. And if those are things that you dig, then please go ahead and give us a thumbs up, give us a like, so that YouTube will send some other nerds this way. All right, and we can all nerd out together. And also, hey, share this thing with some of your friends so that you can bring some nerds here yourself. Now, look, the only reason I'm doing this video, this isn't some political thing. This isn't some, crazy like stance on the coronavirus. Like, that's not what this is at all. I just find it interesting because a couple of major people in DC, in the DC films and film in Hollywood in general. I mean, quite frankly, The Rock is one of the biggest stars in Hollywood. You may not like all of his movies. I don't like all of his movies. I don't think he's necessarily the greatest actor in the world, but he is a huge player in Hollywood. And that being said, I mean, he's also part of DC right now. He's going to be playing Black Adam. If you just watched DC Fandom, he did a tremendous job in the DC Fandom. And, but nobody said anything. That's what I'm talking about here, folks. I don't care that The Rock is okay now. I mean, I do care that The Rock is okay, I should say. But I find it really interesting because, like, nobody has said a word about this. Like, I've seen maybe 2 videos. I think that what's her name did a video. Mad Max's favorite lady. I just can't think of her name right now, but she did a video on it, and like maybe one other video on it. Nobody has talked about the fact that this happened, which I think is an interesting it's an interesting flip from, like, say when this thing first started and we had somebody like Tom Hanks who contracted COVID. And that was a huge deal. That was like all over the place. Everybody was talking about it. And we haven't really heard of a lot of movie stars or, really famous people, a few here and there, but we really haven't heard of a lot of movie stars or famous people coming down with COVID. But I would think that somebody would talk about it, given the fact that it is both, The Rock, who, yes, we're gonna read the thing here, but I mean, this news just came out yesterday. It's not like this news has been sitting out here for the 3 weeks that apparently this has been going on. This news just came out apparently yesterday, and I'm glad. Grace Randolph, thank you, Brian. You're the man. I just couldn't think of her name right now. But the thing is that I just find it interesting. I'm just curious if anybody else finds this interesting in any way, and if you do, if maybe you want to jump in here, for a minute, I might bring a couple of you guys in, might put the link up here, but I don't want to talk about like the virus itself, but I just want to talk about the fact that, like, what this possibly means. I mean, we've already been delayed with the Batman, and now it'll be delayed again I mean, I hope that Robert Pattinson's okay. A lot of people who get the virus, let's be honest, a lot of people who get the virus, they get it, they fight it off, they're able to fight it off, and they're able to get better. But as we'll read in just a second, even Dwayne Johnson, said that this really kicked his butt, and that guy's in awesome shape. So if this thing kicked his butt, I've got a friend who is in great shape, works out, is amazing shape. He was one of the first people to come down with COVID in our area, and it kicked his butt. I mean, it just totally wiped him out. He lost like 30 pounds in the space of like 10 days. He just looked awful. He went from being very muscular to very just weak looking. And so I'm really hoping that Pattinson is one of these who can just like, hopefully he doesn't have any symptoms. We don't really know if he has any symptoms yet or anything, but I'm really hoping that he's one of these that can just get through this, because I mean, obviously we want him to be safe. We don't want anybody to be sick, and we don't want anybody to continue on that. It's just that, we also, as DC fans, we want to see these movies come out. We want to see these people be healthy so that they can continue to do what they do. Yeah, and Darth Tasty, you're right. I mean, it doesn't matter what kind of shape you're in. COVID-19 is just kicks everybody's butt who gets it. I mean, we've had friends of the channel who've gotten it, and it's just brought them down. And it's interesting to see like really healthy people when they get this, and it does this. So I just noticed that like nobody is talking about this. Like Robert Pattinson, comes out today in Vanity Fair that he has COVID, and like there's no reporting on it. There's nobody saying anything about it, nobody mentioning it. Like I said, just a couple of little mentions here or there. To me, that is right truth. Hey man, if you want to jump on in here, man, let me know, and maybe I'll get you in here. I just want to talk about it for a minute, because it's an interesting story to me, that these two big Hollywood stars, come down with COVID, and that nobody's talking about it. That's an interesting turn, because had this been just a few weeks ago, had this been a few months ago, this would have been a huge story. Like this would have been really, really huge. And so I want to ask the question, like, maybe do you think that we're turning a corner with this? I know people have different thoughts and ideas about this, and like why, but like I just got back from a trip. You guys know that I just went on a trip. I went to Vegas. I flew to Vegas, and drove back, and I went across the country. And to be quite honest with you, like, it's really interesting to see how different parts of the country are taking this whole thing and how they're dealing with it. And see, and then here's one of the things that I wanted to bring up. But Cristiano brings up a good point. Warner Brothers tried to keep it a secret. The report was originally that it was just a crew member. Well, Robert Pattinson's not just a crew member. He's Batman. He's the main dude, and I understand they probably don't want to, like alert everybody and freak everybody out, but still yet, it does beg the question, are they ready to go back and start filming some of this stuff? Because now we're starting to see some of these TV shows go back to filming some of these these movies, do their thing. And I don't know. I mean, if all of a sudden movies are going back into production, and we're going to see stuff like this, I'll be honest with you. I just don't know. It's a hard topic for sure. So I'm gonna bring a couple of people in here, and you know what, and I welcome all ideas and all thoughts here. We're not gonna shun out anybody's thoughts here. But I just I find this really interesting, I can get everybody up here. There he is. There he is. There's my guy right here. All right, so I'm gonna bring in the truth. Just sent you the link there, and then we're gonna bring in Brian if Brian wants to come in. Send Brian this, and we're just let's just look at this. Let's just talk about this for a minute, and and see what we think. I mean, is it time? Is it time for us to go back and start making these movies? Because we know that the Batman is being now it's been put now just to working on sets, right? So there's no outside filming, just on sets. And that begs the question, like, even with the greatest of care, and this is something that's dear to my heart because I have to deal with this all the time. I mean, like I said, I work at you guys know I work at a pretty large church. I'm the guy who's like in charge. Maybe this is just something special for me that's like important to me because maybe some of you guys are over it. Some of you guys are just kind of done with it. But like, I'm dealing with this all the time, like whether or not we should get people to wear masks, whether or not we shouldn't get people to wear masks, people who want to wear masks, people who don't want to wear masks, people who don't want to come because they're scared of the people who aren't wearing masks. I mean, it just goes back and forth, and it's just a crazy time right now. It's a crazy thing. And it's like, we've been through so much over the last few months. It's like, you don't want the whole thing to just kind of implode on itself again. And so I know I live here in Michigan where the numbers seem to be going down. And I'm going to get some of you guys' comments here, but first I'm going to bring in Brian, Master of None. What's up, Brian?
Oh, not much, man. How's it going?
It's going good, man. Maybe I'm crazy, but I'm just surprised that, like, I saw your comment there just a second ago that, like, unfortunately, like, COVID is like old news or whatever, and it's like, I kind of feel that way because it's like, if nobody's talking about these two big actors having COVID, like, where are we at? But hey, we're also going to bring in the Truth 31. I always love bringing in the Truth. He sets us straight.
What's going on, everybody?
Hey, man, I'll tell you what, you guys, right now, I'm just going to tell you, but I'm going to tell everybody watching right now, go subscribe to these two guys. These two guys are awesome guys. I love having them on the show, and yeah, they're awesome. So, but I mean, like, am I just crazy? Like, let me get this thing out of here so that, like, you guys can see my cool new hat. You like my new Superman hat?
That's awesome.
Nice.
Isn't that pretty sweet? Isn't that pretty sweet? Like $7 on eBay.
Not bad.
Oh, and it's embroidered, and check, and it's got like an embroidered S on the back here too. Pretty cool.
Nice.
And here's the secret. I've got the total reverse image one where it's like black and white. I had to get two. So
nice.
There you go. Free shipping.
Stop bragging already.
I know, it's sweet, man. It's sweet. But no, I mean, like, am I crazy? Like, does this seem like it should be a bigger story than it is?
No, I think us turning the corner is not knowing anymore. Tony's been so weird that it's no, I don't know. Call me the eternal optimist, but I've always thought that this wasn't that big of a deal going into it in the first place. Mm-hmm. And I've worked in retail the whole damn time. So I was considered essential, but I didn't wear a mask until they made it mandatory. So, I mean, I don't care. I mean, the thing is that bothers me is having to wear a mask because normally I wouldn't. But other than that, I mean, that's basically where I sit. And that's kind of what I said earlier about how I kind of have a negative opinion of COVID because it's like, well, I didn't think it was that big of a deal to begin with. Because I know, for one, we have a great medical system in this country. I mean, it has its knocks, but I mean,
well, like
usually a big flu doesn't take us out,
See, my thing is like, I took it very, very serious. When this whole thing came down, I took it very, very serious because I felt like, okay, this is something that I didn't expect people to react the way that they did, like the country, the world, because we've seen other, things come and go. But I've taken this very, very serious. And I'll be honest with you, like, I don't have a problem with wearing my mask out, like when I go out and stuff like that. I'm going to do whatever I got to do. Like, and for me, like, especially in the position that I'm in, I'm trying to make as many people feel comfortable as possible. Like, if it, like, I'm not getting into the things. I know there's like, people over on one side who's like the masks work, and there's people on the other side the masks don't work, and they get into all this stuff.
What they've done is politicized it, and unfortunately, it's if you think the masks are BS, oh, you're obviously a Trump supporter. And if you think that they're masks, you're all for the lockdowns and whatnot. Oh, you got to be a Democrat. Honestly, enough.
Yeah.
The media made it seem like that movie Bird Box with Sandra Bullock. Like as soon as you go outside, it's like, oh my God, you're infected.
Of course,
I agree.
I took it seriously for about the first week, and then people started buying car wash crap. Okay, so I was just like, yeah, I'm good, whatever, I'll stay away from family members that I know are at risk. Mm-hmm. If you're afraid, wear a mask. That's a choice that we should have had to be or let to be made, not something that was forced upon us. And I think that's where you get people that, find that kind of a little bit of an affront. But then they have people who will compare it to like no shoes, no shirt, no service.
And here's the thing. Like I hear a lot of people talking about, oh, it's my right to not wear a mask and all this stuff. And it's like, you know what? I say to that, look, there's a lot of things that like we probably have a right to, but sometimes it's not about us. Like, it's not about me. You know what I mean? Like everything's not about me and like my comfort and, whatever. Like if it's going to help somebody else, like I'm fine with it at this point. But it's just a really interesting thing to me because I remember when Tom Hanks got COVID, like, oh my gosh, the whole world was like,
what?
Yeah, right. But here's the thing too. It's like I know
that was when it was in vogue. Though.
You have people on the other side of this though who are like, who they play the numbers, right? And I get the numbers, and I understand like the whole idea of like percentages and stuff like that, and they want to make it out that's not bad. But it's like I've seen people who literally go on social media and they're like, you don't know anybody who has COVID, and it's like. Actually, I know a lot of people who've had COVID, and I know like 3 people who've died, and I've heard of many more people outside of my immediate, family or groupings or whatever, of people dying, and so it's like I'm trying to be mindful of everyone in this thing, and not because I see some people like dismissing deaths, and I don't think that that's cool. Just like that. They were going to be sick anyways, or they were going to die anyways. It's like, well, it doesn't mean that they have to die. You know what I mean? Like you should do whatever you got to do. But it's a weird thing, and I don't want to get into all the political stuff of it. But I mean, it's just when this came out, I was just like I kept looking for somebody to report something on it. Because I just wanted to hear the story. I wanted to know like what's the story? How did they think Robert got it? How did The Rock get it? Like what's going on? And like nobody is saying anything. And that's my problem is like nobody's saying anything.
I mean, we can get conspiratorial if you want.
Alex Jones hat on real quick.
Yeah, well, who is it? Somebody just said, let me find the comment in here because it's an interesting comment. And like, yeah, I mean, I know it sounds a little conspiratorial. I get that, but where was it? Oh, come on. Here it was. 187 says the haters think The Rock is faking it for an agenda from what I saw.
What agenda?
I don't know what's the end game with that, but I mean, also like you tell us 3 weeks later. You know what I mean? Like, isn't that a little strange too? Like that like all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, we're all better now. And because I'll be honest with you, I got a friend, man, who like 3 weeks. I mean, and maybe they were asymptomatic. Maybe they didn't. I don't know. I got the story up. That we can go through, but it sounds like. He got really sick that he said that his kids were okay, but that him and his wife, it really took hard. Well, I know several people who've gone through it and they didn't just bounce back after 3 weeks. Like there's some long lasting ramifications that you got to like build yourself back up, and get better again. And so, I don't know. It's just an interesting.
It's weird
interesting thing to me.
I've always noticed that the people who died from COVID always had some other underlying disease that we don't know about. I was like, oh, this person died from COVID. Oh my God! Like what? It was like, oh, but they also had a cancer.
Well,
like,
that's the other part of it. They just released the CDC data on comorbidity versus just strictly COVID deaths, and it was only like 6% of the people who died actually died from just COVID.
Right.
Everything else was, they had cancer and then they died from COVID.
Yeah, and I get those. Like I have a friend who's a county sheriff, right? And he was telling me about some things like that, some instances like that. But on the other side of that, I also know too, it's like, okay, so for example, nobody dies of AIDS.
No, it's always
No.
other
right.
related
You die of you have AIDS, and then you die of the other related things that you can get while you have AIDS because your immune system is compromised, right? Nobody dies of cancer. Like that, you die of the complications to other parts of your body because of your cells being degraded and stuff like that. So I get that to a point as well. But like Cylon Scotty, like hit it on the nail for me. Like this is where I'm at. It's like, he says I wear a mask so other people feel comfortable. That's all I need to know about it. It's easy. I lived in Taiwan for years, and it's normal there to wear a mask, so it's not a big deal to me. I guess my thing is like, so on the front end of that, I agree, right? Like I don't know if maybe this was like a bad idea, like to do a video about this, but it's like, but I feel like, look, we have a lot of like good conversations here on the channel about stuff, and so I want everybody to know that like I'm not taking some political stance on this, and I don't want this to be that. I want us to have an open conversation, not necessarily about all the other stuff, but I want to zero in here in a second on The Rock and on Robert Pattinson. But this is the thing. Like my concern is I don't want to be a nation like in Taiwan where we end up having to wear masks for years to come. You know what I mean? Like I want us to be able to figure this thing out and get people back to working, get people back to doing what they're supposed to do. And hopefully more and more see the fear go away.
Yeah. That's the big part right there. The fear. Because
the fear is crippling. I know for a lot of people, I've got a lot of good friends who like, they're just really, really afraid at this point. And my heart goes out to them, because because I know some of them have had family members that have passed,
Sure.
So.
And the media doesn't help when it's just like every time we're just like, you're going to die. Okay, I got it. Relax.
This, I think, times where you cling to faith. You know what I mean?
Sure. And
what does faith tell you?
Yeah.
There are far worse fates than this earth. You know what I mean? There's reward in, the suffering that you experience. So either way, I mean, I don't know. It's a hard one to take. I'm not much of a theologian, but
sure.
I think.
Oh no, Cylon, you're not. No, dude, you're not you are not. No, you, dude, are not starting anything. That's what I wanted to say. Like, I want to say from my point of view, not from your point of view. I want to say from my point of view that like, because I know it's a touchy subject for a lot of people, because there's people who feel very strongly on both sides. So I don't ever want to make like this video, like that you guys think that I'm, like telling you guys you're wrong with it. Because honestly, I am sitting here in the middle of it. To be quite honest with you.
While I personally disagree, I did go out and buy it because I understand that's what you have to do. It's for the common good. It's about respecting what's good for everyone.
I've got 3 masks,
and that's where I leave it at. You know what I mean? But deep down, personally, I understand. It's for me. I think it's more of a fear and control type situation. But like
the only thing about this whole thing, guys, that I'll be honest with you, that kind of bothered me at all is you all know I just went to Metropolis and I had to see this.
Superman, bro.
Come on, man.
Oh, what?
Hey, Superman's wearing a mask, man. It's like, you know what? There's people who come here for a tourist thing, man. I didn't want like now every time I see the picture of when I got to go to Metropolis, God forbid I don't ever get to go back. Like I didn't get to see Superman's face. I mean, I got Superman's beautiful face right here, thanks to the Milee Store.
But that's
thank you, Milee Store.
Like,
but yeah, it's just, I don't know. So, but let's take a quick look because nobody else is talking about it. I actually want to read some of this stuff. So since The Rock apparently has had it for 3 weeks, let's see what they had to say about this first. Now you see this picture of The Rock here. He's looking pretty happy. Very tight shirt. He's looking all right, but I don't know if that was yesterday. I don't know. But so it just says this is from NBC News. It just says actor and former wrestler Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson said Wednesday that his family recently tested positive for the coronavirus and are now implementing stricter rules on socializing amid the pandemic. Johnson, 48, posted a video to his Instagram and shared that he, wife Lauren, and 2 young daughters all tested positive for COVID-19 about 3 weeks ago. The Jumanji and Baywatch actor said that his daughters had only mild symptoms, but that the illness was much harder on the adults. He said, "I can tell you that this has been one of the most challenging and difficult things we have ever had to endure as a family," Johnson said. "And for me personally, too, as well. And I've gone through some doozies in the past." And so here was the video that he released, and then he had some stuff here. He says, "My message to all of you around the world: stay disciplined, boost your immune system, commit to wellness, wear your mask, protect your family, be strict about having people over your house or gatherings, stay positive, and care for your fellow human beings. Stay healthy, my friends." It says Johnson said that the family is now on the other side of the virus, doing well and no longer contagious. "We're all counting our blessings because we're well aware that it isn't the case that you get on the other end of COVID-19 stronger and healthier." Johnson says, "Some of my best friends lost their parents, their loved ones to this virus that is so incredibly relentless and unforgiving, and it's insidious." It says friends unaware that they were infected apparently spread the illness to the Johnsons when they visited the family's home. Johnson said that the close family friends felt terrible and that he has since implemented new rules about guests. Now they're over it. And now he's got rules. Having your friends over, having your family members over, your loved ones, of course, you want that because you want the connection and you want to be with people who you love and care about and have a good time with. He said, "My takeaway here isn't necessarily keep them away. I'm not saying that, but what I am saying is apply an even greater discipline to having people over to your house." Now, see, I'm going to be honest with you. So I took this very serious when it first happened. As soon as our governor, I live in Michigan, okay, which they dropped some heavy rules on us like right away, right? And as soon as we could have a couple of people over at our house, I'll be honest with you, we had some people over. Like I was facing all kinds, and I think the public is facing a lot of interesting choices because like my son just graduated, right? Yeah. And so I literally like we had to figure out, okay, like what are we going to do for his graduation? Like, you know, he didn't get to have the end of his graduation year. You know, Isaac went through all of that, guys, and you guys know Isaac here on the channel, you know, and I felt horrible for him, you know.
Yeah, I kind of feel bad about that one. That sucks.
You know, I have felt I have felt absolutely horrible for him because he didn't get his prom. He didn't get, you know, those the camaraderie and the things that you do with your friends, you know, you know, and everything. And that just sucks. But then it was like it came time for his graduation party. And our rules did let up, you know, here in Michigan, where it was like, okay, you can have groups of so many or whatever. So we abided by all those guidelines and we socially distanced, you know, we did all that stuff. And then it was interesting because the night before, you know, we're like thinking, okay, we're doing good. Everything's fine. My best friend calls me and says, "Hey, Nash, I just wanted to give you a call. We'd love to come. But me and my wife just found out that we were exposed because my cousin went to a graduation party last week."
Wow.
And it was like, oh man. And this is my best friend, you know what I mean? Who honestly, you know, he hadn't been like, you know, like really super convinced about the whole thing, you know? And like here he's like, now we got to be quarantined, and his wife is pregnant. Right. And it was like, oh man, you know, like that's I guess when it hits home. Like people say a lot of stuff, but like when it does hit home, it, you know, it's you just scared the heck out of me there, Brian.
Sorry about
with Mr. Stretchy Face there from one of the worst Star Trek movies ever. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. That's what Brian gave us right there. That's right there. Yes,
that's F. Murray Abram right there, kids.
Looks like a used condom.
Oh my gosh, it's just horrible. That movie is
Star Trek Insurrection.
But you know, like I'm glad that like I wish the world, guys, I wish the world was like this YouTube channel, to be honest with you. You know, seriously, like people keep talking about the positivity of this channel, and I keep seeing that, you know, more and more. And I just love this. I mean, like people are just talking silence, like, you know, everyone's making good points, and I think everybody's being like really just really nice to each other. And I, my goodness, I just wish the world was like, of course, Tony's a smart aleck, but, but I'm still trying not to spit in other people's mouths, but it's so hard, you know? But yeah, you know, like, yeah, Zentek, it's legit, man. This actually happens. So, but I just want to say, guys, I'm so thankful that you guys are, you know, are being this way. This is interesting. People attack the rocks. His mob will try to cancel them. They don't want the smoke. You know, that's the thing. It's like now, so we do know though that sometimes, you know, you get a person who is a spokesperson for certain things, and you kind of need those things to solidify. You know what I mean? And we've seen some interesting things throughout history, to be quite honest with you. You know, I remember when I was a kid. Oh, hey, real quick, Zentek. Hey, man. Hey, thank you so much, man, for the Australian $5. I would say we'll use it to put a shrimp on the Barbie, but he informed me that's not what they actually say down there. Zentek is so great. I love Zentek. He's just a good guy. I always love having him on the channel. He was on last night for one of our things, and so thank you so much, Zentek. You're awesome. Like, this guy's so good. Like, he messages me today and he's like, "Hey man, I'm sorry my PayPal wasn't working." He's like, "I wanted to give you something last night." I'm like, dude. Thinking like, dude, you don't have to give money, but hey, dude, you're awesome. And then look at Cylon Scotty here. Look at this, man. $4.99. Thank you so much, man. You're a good guy too. Cylon Scotty's a great guy, and I love him and Sophie. And when I get her name right, it's just no, it just says, you know, here's to good people in civil conversation, and that's, guys, that's what we're all about here in the Poindexter Lounge. And like I said, you know, when I'm trying to see it because there's some people in here and I know went through it, but I don't want to out them on some stuff. So, but you know, so if they want to share, that's fine. But you know, I just care about people. You know what I mean? And like, I think that's the thing. It's like, I think it's really easy to step back and say, okay, well, you know, this isn't real, or that's not real, or this doesn't work, or that doesn't work. And you know what? Those may very well at the end of the day be actual true statements.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, because I'm not a scientist. I don't know all of the all the ins and outs of everything, you know, whatever. But at the end of the day, I just know this: I care about people. You know, my grandma's going to be 80 years old next year. Right? She's actually young for a grandma, you know, given the fact that I'm going to be 44 years old, man, in like literally like 20 days, like the 24th, man, I turned 44. It's insane.
Nice.
Yeah. But the thing is like, my grandma's going to be 80 years old. And like, dude, it was scaring me to death that she was going out and that she was, like hanging out with all of her friends still, because she really didn't understand, like, especially when it first began, like she didn't understand the ramifications. And that's, I'll be honest with you, that scared me. You know what I mean? Like, like anybody who says like, that's why I kind of like when I hear people who are just like, well, you know, just the old people are, you know, just, you know, are dying. It's like, yeah, well, my grandma raised me and she's, you know, she's getting up there, but I don't want her to die. Exactly. You know what I mean? Like I care about her very much. I mean, like, you know, let's see, do I still have her in here? I was going to say, if I still have her in here, but you know, like it's like, I love that woman, you know, like she raised me, man. Like I'm not about to have, here she is right here.
Welcome to the Poindexter Lounge. I'm Enosh's grandma, and I say, yes, release the Snyder Cut.
How can you not love that woman? How can you not love that woman? She's amazing, guys. And so, yeah, so it's like, I just, I want the best, for her and for others. Hey guys, this is amazing. Jeff Glotfelty, $4.99, simply the best. Thank you, man. I tell you what, we try, we try around here.
Cash.
Oh my gosh, this is turning into a totally different stream. This goes back to the Doomcock thing. A Karak of Johnson. I love it. I get it. That's funny. But yeah, I mean, that's what we're trying to do here. Like we're trying to just have good conversations about stuff. And so, like I said, like with my grandma, and I don't know if you guys have other people who are, you're close to, who you've had concerns about, but I mean, it's really interesting,
Well, yeah. Well, the thing is here's the deal. Like, remember having chicken pox parties?
See, I didn't.
Or
didn't.
associated things. Well, not necessarily like an actual physical party that you go to catch it, but when your parents normally found out back in the 80s, when another kid had chicken pox, they'd send them to school.
Wow.
I do remember. I do remember hearing stuff like that. You
got the immunity to it, kind of thing. So I'm always been of the mind that you get sick, you get over it, and you can't really avoid getting sick. It just puts off the inevitable. So,
oh my goodness! Look at this.
One way or another, you're going to get it.
Here's Sophie. Oh my goodness, the 1-2 punch of Cylon Scotty and Sophie. Sophie with the $4.99. Oh my gosh, you guys are awesome. She says, it's a good day when Enosh is streaming.
Always.
Nerds support nerds. Oh my gosh.
True.
Guys, that's just, man, you're gonna make me cry now. I tell you what, wait do you see, like I decided to do this video live. I am actually going to, when we're done here, I'm actually going to make a video that I didn't want to do live. I just wanted to share with you guys something that happened to me today that goes to the root of why I love collecting toys. People always ask me, like, you're a 44-year-old man, like, why are you collecting toys? And, you do all this stuff. And guys, today, this little girl, and I'll just give you a preview. I won't tell you the whole story, but this little girl comes into my office at where I work, and she's been through a lot, and it reminds me a lot of my childhood and stuff that I went through. And she saw I had a Batman hat on today, and she saw my Batman hat, and she just says, she goes, "Hi, Enosh." She goes, "I like your Batman hat." And we just started talking. Weird. And I started talking to this little girl just about Batman. And she's like telling me how she loves Batman. She loves the Joker, but the Joker scares her a little bit. But she likes Harley Quinn, and she likes Supergirl and stuff. And I showed her my Superman tattoo, and she's like, "Oh, I love Superman." And I took her in my office at work, and I showed her some of the stuff. And like, I sat there with her, literally just like showing her some of the toys in my office. And man,
her face just lit up.
Yeah, and that's why I love collecting. But anyway, there's more to the story. But I'll tell you guys in an actual video that Ronan the Troll Slayer says my daughter has heart disease and is high risk, but as much as we want to, young or old, we can't protect everyone all the time. And that is a good point. Like like even our best even our best attempts, we're not going to be able to fix everything for everyone,
Yeah, it's like what I said earlier, just one way or another, you're going to get sick. I mean, whether you want to or not, it happens. So, I mean, you can put off the inevitable, but sooner or later,
Oh my goodness, Jenner Bruce, Jenner Custom Toys, $350. Oh my gosh.
My hands are
gosh, I know, man. This is crazy. This is crazy. Jenner Custom Toys, $350 says, for the Loch Ness Monster, about $350. I love it. I love it.
Loch Ness Monster want a $350.
I can't believe it's just Loch Ness Monster. Well, woman, I was just standing there, and all of a sudden I looked up, and there was this giant prehistoric beast from the Cretaceous era, and I said, "Monster, what you want?"
About $350.
About $350. Yeah, well, it was just about that time that I realized that was a Loch Ness Monster.
Not no Girl Scout.
Hey guys, you know what? You guys are just like surprising me so much with this. So I had somebody ask me, and I'm totally not being facetious about this. This is not like a facetious thing, but like we always joke about the Cash App thing. Obviously because of people that we've made fun of in the past. But I do want to share with you guys something, because if you've never used Cash App, they actually have a thing on here where I can send you a link. And I don't know if a lot of people use, like, Cash App you can use for a lot of stuff. You can pay for a lot of stuff online. You can do a lot of stuff with Cash App or whatever. You can accept payments. You can pay for stuff. But if you guys, because a lot of people say, well, I would love to give to the channel. I would love to support you guys, but I don't have the money to do it. And that's fine, because I love you guys and I don't expect any of you guys to give. But literally, if you would even think about downloading the Cash App for your own personal stuff, hit me up on social media or somewhere where I can send you a link. Because if you follow that link, not only will you be helping the channel, because the channel will get $15 if you sign up for Cash App, if you download the app through the link that I can send you, but you get $5. And you can use that $5 anywhere. You can use that $5 for whatever you want to use the $5. So it's like a win-win situation. So I'm totally not being facetious. If you guys want to support the channel, but maybe you haven't had the ability to, and you think that you might use Cash App, or maybe you just want to download it, get your $5 and then offload that thing, like whatever. It's $5. You can use it online. You could use it at you know where you could use it? At the Milee Store.
Hey yo.
See, it's all connected, baby. So I didn't mean to get off on that, but like seriously, like hit me up. I wasn't prepared to drop a link, but let's kind of switch gears here for a second. And yes, I do love the Macho Man shirt, man. It's a great Macho Man shirt.
Thank you. ProWrestlingTees.com.
Yes,
awesome.
Nice. I just bought a ton of new like superhero shirts. And so I got one. I cannot wait for you to see, you guys, because you guys are going to love it. But I want to wait until Ryan Zieverfett is on with me, because he's always got the greatest shirts. He's got like everything. And I bought like $100 worth of shirts. And like one of them was for Tiffany, and it looks like Disney and stuff, but it's Candor. It's the bottle city of Candor.
Nice.
And so I got that one first. She's like, "You bought 5-6 shirts for yourself?" Because they were like $13. And it was like, dude, I got a Christopher Reeve Superman S. I got the Kingdom Come Superman S. Ooh. I wore the other one last night where it's Superman S with Doomsday's fist coming through it. And so I got some cool things. I got a Nuclear Man t-shirt. Oh my gosh, dude, for Superman 4. And then I got one that I'm saving.
Exactly.
I got one that I'm saving for sure. 3 cheers for Jenner. About Tree Fitty. Not just Tree.
Tree Fitty.
I love Silent. He says, "Brian, you just keep giving me more reasons to like you." I expect Celine Dion to start singing somewhere.
Little pomp and circumstance for you.
Oh yeah, the Macho Man Randy Savage is not taking things lightly. No, that's right. I'm wearing a mask, brother. That's right. I'm going to town on this because the cream rises to the top.
To the top.
That's right. To the top. The tippy top. That's right. The cream. The cream is rising to the top. And you know what happens when the cream rises to the top, Hulk Hogan, is I come right at you, brother. That's right. I'm not going to stand back and let the mega powers be a thing anymore, because I have had it up to here with you. Yeah. Dig it.
There you go.
Yep.
All right. So let's see what's going on with Pattinson, because like now Pattinson has like, are you guys concerned a little bit that like if about this affecting the movie?
Might have explained a little bit from DC Fandom why it wasn't energetic.
Oh, that's a possibility.
That's a really good point, Brian. I'm
just saying it could be a possibility.
That is actually because you know what, he was very subdued,
rather morose. I mean, kind of
very lethargic. Just like, yeah, I'm happy to be here. Sure, here's the movie. Can I go back to sleep now? Thank you.
Yeah, that's a really interesting. Right? Yeah. Oh my gosh, I was in the grocery store this morning and I heard some woman like hacking up a lung, and I was like, I'm gonna make my purchase now.
That's the worst part, because I do that every once in a while, because I'll vape and I smoke a little every once in a while, and I'll have a cough, and you're kind of looking over your shoulder, just trying to see who's coughing. You know what I mean?
Where's my axe?
Is that Chuck Testa? You guys even know that joke? If you guys don't know Chuck Testa, you guys got to look up Rhett and Link. I don't know if you guys ever watched Rhett and Link Commercial Kings. You guys know good. You guys know Good Mythical Morning, Rhett and Link.
No.
Oh my gosh, guys! You guys got to go look up Good Mythical Morning. They used to have this TV show where they made crazy commercials for people, and it was actually on TV. It was a great show because they made the cheesiest like commercials for people, and they made one for a guy who's a taxidermist, and somebody was like, is that a deer driving that car? And it's like, nope. And then this guy pulls up from under behind in the truck that he's in. He's like, it's just Chuck Testa. it became a meme because like, hey, is that a rhino walking down the street? And then nope, just Chuck Testa. So if you haven't seen it, it's not as funny, but it's still funny to me. Just like wrestling, it's still real to me. It's still real to me.
I have the real place in my heart.
That's right. It was a great show. Let me tell you. So let's read now what's going on with Pattinson here. And oops, no, we don't want the limited time offer. All right, so we got the awesome, thing here. Maybe it's ultraviolet light helps. I don't know. It says Robert Pattinson is said to have tested positive for the coronavirus, causing filming of The Batman to be halted just days after the superhero drama resumed work at studios outside of London. Warner Brothers would not comment on any individual worker's health, sharing only this statement: a member of the Batman production has tested positive for COVID-19 and is isolating in accordance with established protocols. Filming is temporarily paused. Vanity Fair confirmed through a highly placed source. They got the Doomcock sources now. That Pattinson was the individual who became sick. So this is not just that he apparently tested, but that he became sick. So yeah. The production previously shut down along with most other entertainment industry work back in March when the quarantine lockdown first hit. Pattinson's representative did not immediately return a request for comment in the new movie, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So we all know what's going on with the movie and stuff. But so it says, so it's actually just more about the movie. So it's one of those articles that it's like, hey, here's a little blurb about the thing you're actually interested in and a bunch of stuff about the movie you already know. So, yeah, so there you go. The madness. Oh, yeah. The madness. It's crazy out here, man. When Batman gets the coronavirus and has to shut down, let me tell you something, dude. That's a crazy moment right there, brother. Yeah. Dig it.
I was watching a documentary this morning about the Ultimate Warrior.
Oh, yeah. Me too. That's crazy. Oh, my gosh. And I love the Ultimate Warrior. That's a whole other... But I love the Ultimate Warrior, but man, he was insane.
Just a little bit.
Oh my god,
a little bit.
I agree with you, Andrew. 2021 can't get here soon enough, but I'm concerned what 2021 is going to be because I guess this is what it brings us to, guys. Is a lot of these movie productions and television productions are starting to loosen up a little bit, right, and go back to filming. And they're trying to find ways to do this. And I remember reading about the Batman set that they have taken so many precautions now. Yeah. Trying to make, even going in and everything's going to be on a set now. They're not going to be filming on location anymore for the rest of the movie. And so that's when you got to ask yourself the question, is this going to be a trend? Because there's a lot of people on the set. A lot of people, and that's going to be something that's going to be really hard to control. What do you guys think about? What do you think, Truth?
Oh, my first thought when I heard Robert Pattinson got the virus, I was like, number one, I was like, damn, that sucks. And number two, I was like, damn, why couldn't it happen to any of the Marvel actors? Why is it gotta be DC? I'm kidding, I'm joking. But I don't know,
wow. So, guys, you've been listening to the Truth just totally end his career here on YouTube.
I'm joking. I love Marvel. but I was like, okay.
Just for the record, we don't wish harm on anybody. Okay, guys, we don't wish that anybody actually had. The Truth is joking. It's a joke. It's okay. Look, his thing. I know that's supposed to be Dick Grayson, right? That's supposed to be, but it just always looks like a big giant smile to me. So that's just how the Truth is. Yeah. He's just always joking. So.
I'm a sad dick. But my first, I was just like, my first thought was like, okay, well, Robert Pattinson is gonna be fine. I think The Rock is gonna be fine. I'm just thinking okay, well, and my second thought was just like, okay, well, I hope this doesn't affect the Batman because I'm looking forward to that. I'm thinking okay, it's next year, so they have time to figure stuff out. Maybe this whole thing is going to blow over in a couple of weeks and they're going to start back to resume filming. But I was just like, oh, man. Like you said, I hope this is not a trend. I hope we don't hear about, Black Adam's getting pushed back and Wonder Woman and Suicide Squad. I'm just like, and then we find out that 2021 is ruined. And now,
well, see, that's
now it
my
sucks.
so that's my
Because
concern.
there won't be any finished movies in 2021.
Well,
They
that's
can't make anything
exactly.
good.
That's my concern, because look, the TV shows haven't started filming because, you know, I mean, we've gotten little bits and parts that have started, but that's what I'm saying. They're just now starting to get back to stuff. And that's been the problem, is that like the shows that we're getting now, like by the time The Mandalorian comes out, forget it all, because The Mandalorian is going to do such great numbers. Even like all these people who are like, have you guys seen the negative stuff that like people have been trying to say about The Mandalorian this week? That like it wasn't going to be that good and it was like going to suck and everything. Look, The Mandalorian is going to score numbers, I guarantee you, unlike you've ever seen before when it comes out. One, because it's got goodwill from the first season, but two, there ain't nothing going up against it. There ain't no other TV shows.
Let me tell you something, Mean Gene. Right now, if you think that Star Wars The Mandalorian is going to suck, I've got one, a bridge I can sell you, and two, the biggest grain of salt to take that with since Mike Zero opened his mouth on YouTube. Okay?
Right?
Not going to happen. Oh, and then furthermore, Stagecraft. Okay? It's that software that they use for doing The Mandalorian, since we've been talking about it.
Yes.
If that gets better, yes, you will not see movies shot on location anymore. Period. It's a lot easier to control the elements when you don't have to control the elements. Or you could push a button.
You know what, brother? Let me tell you something. I think I agree with you. I've been listening to what you got to say there, Brian. And you know, the madness doesn't always bow down to somebody else and their ways and their knowledge. But I gotta say that Brian is dropping some science up in here, Mean Gene. I think
bit.
that, and you know, I gotta call out my friend Darth Tasty here just for a second, because you know what? When the madness met the mania, it collided like that at WrestleMania 5, and it ended in a crazy way where all of a sudden Hulk Hogan was doing like movies like No Holds Barred, and you brought in people who weren't even wrestlers. Dig it? But you know what? We met there and it was like crazy, but it wasn't the superpowers, brother. It was the mega powers. Get it right? That's right. Trademark mega powers. Dig it?
I don't know where we're going with all this. I just crossover, man. and you know, crossover is all about that, baby. I don't know if you guys can see.
Because Macho Man Randy Savage, you see, he was
Dollar signs.
Spider-Man.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
true.
Bonesaw.
He played Bonesaw McGraw.
Yes, sir.
ready.
That's right.
That's part of the whole deal.
That's right, I'm right. And when the Macho Man's right, the Macho Man's right, and the Macho Man is right most of the time, except for that little brief stint there where I was off with Sensational Sherry. But you know what? I got back to Elizabeth. That's right, because she came and saved me at WrestleMania 7 at that match where I lost my whole career until a year later when I came back anyways, because that's how wrestling works, dude. If you don't know that, then maybe you should watch more wrestling. But yeah, that's right. I'm right. I was right then. I'm right now. And I'm going to be right tomorrow, because that's how the Macho Man Randy Savage rolls. Dig it.
Speaking the truth.
That's right.
Absolutely. But yeah, so no, seriously, but 2021, did you see angling back? 2021 is going to be really interesting if some of these productions start to come back.
Yeah, or if people are afraid to go back to the theaters
and then have to shut down. See, and my thing is, guys, I'm ready to go back to the theater. Look, I got on an airplane. A couple of months ago, I would not have gotten on an airplane. Okay, I'll be honest with you. And I'll be honest with you too. Like when Tiffany was looking for places for us to go on vacation, like she found this amazing deal in Florida, and I said, nope. I don't want to go to, nothing against Florida, but you know, home of Andy Signore. But no, I don't want to go to Florida. Can you imagine if I had gone to Florida? And no, never mind.
I heard the golf courses down there are real nice.
Yeah, right. Like I don't know. But like here Jeff makes an interesting point. He says, my aunt is a nurse and she said once it gets cold again, it's going to come back even worse. And I've heard that kind of talk.
Yeah.
You know, and so you know, it's going to be interesting to see how things you know, shape up. Yeah, because right now Titans and Batwoman are starting to film. A lot of these shows are starting to come back, and if all of a sudden we see an upturn because all of a sudden these, you know, productions start getting shut down because one or two, because all it takes is one.
Sure.
You know, man, you know,
And there's all-
2020.
And there's been all this talks about, you know, the second wave is coming. The second wave is coming. So I'm just like, oh, great.
Yeah.
So I don't like. Do you think like movie theaters are like, if this continues to progress even worse, are they gonna? Are movie theaters just like done? Like, you know what? That's it. We're closing it down for good.
They don't have too much more time.
Yeah.
I mean, because you can only be closed for so long.
You can only shut things down for so long before you gotta.
You know what I never understand though. You know what I don't understand about this whole thing. Like, okay, so who are the people who are like when you're talking about the building stuff? Because I actually just drove by a movie theater yesterday that were like all the lights were on, all this stuff was on. Like I honestly thought it was open for a second. I'm like, did a decree come down that I didn't see? Because like, look, guys, I'll be honest with you. Not the second, but you know what I mean. The day, the day that movie theaters come back, I'm gonna be looking to see like what's playing, what I can go see. And that may sound foolhardy of me, but look, like I said, I got on an airplane. I didn't think I would have gotten on an airplane. I was in Vegas, we took precautions. And I'm not just throwing all caution to the wind, but I think you can be safe.
It's not as bad as I said it was. You know what I mean? I think it's bad, but it's not.
Yeah.
If you can go to the grocery store, go to the grocery store, Walmart, and all these other places, see that's my only problem with it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, if you can go to Walmart, why can't you go to church?
Well, that's the thing. So like here in Michigan, our governor really came down hard on a lot of stuff, but like some of the stuff didn't make any sense because you could go certain places, but like there's a guy just literally up the road, like this 80-year-old guy who got into this huge controversy with the mayor because he cuts hair. He's a barber. And he had people coming in like one at a time, and he was wearing a mask. They were wearing a mask. They, washed their hands. They did everything, and he would cut hair. And like she went after him hard and like tried to get him shut down. It was going before the courts. It was like, doing all this stuff. And like finally they shut him down. And then the thing was that
she got caught getting a haircut.
Well,
she did.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, Gretchen. Yeah,
I've been paying attention to this stuff since day one. So
yeah. Well, and there was some other stuff too because like they were telling people that they couldn't do this and that, and then like her husband tried to get their boat taken out of storage, in the springtime, first and stuff like that, and it was like, yeah, that's not going to fly too well. And but then certain stuff just didn't make any sense because like you could go get your nails done, I guess it was, but you couldn't get your hair cut. And it was almost like a personal thing because this guy had fought it and they had people picketing and they had like all this stuff going on. And it was like, okay, at some point, people are going to have to take personal responsibility for themselves. And we're going to have to figure it out. You know what I mean? Because I know people who are, like I said, on both sides, people who are literally just don't want to go outside and they act like they're never going to go outside again. And then there's people who literally, they're just like, they act like the whole thing's just, fake, so.
Well, I know here.
Like I said, I'm not going to say it's fake, but I'm just saying it's not. It got overhyped bad, bad.
Well, I know here in New York, my local comic book store just opened. And I went in there, bought some comic books, and people were in there and they were just buying comics like no big deal. Like everything was just back to normal. So I think people are just like slowly but surely ready to be like reassimilate back to like normal society.
Well, I shared last night that I went to my local comic book store because everybody was flipping out over DC having to let people go. Yeah. And stuff. And I sat back here going, well, what do you guys expect? Like the companies kept things going for like 5 months. Eventually, like companies can't just afford to just sustain.
Well, and they were on live sport to begin with.
Well, exactly. Nobody was buying comic books. And so I just started telling everybody last night on the stream, if you guys didn't see it, I was just like, guys, if you want comic books,
buy them.
You got to buy comic books. Like, you know what I mean? Like all these people who are like complaining about this, it's like, well, when's the last time you bought a comic book? Well, I haven't liked the stories. So
2007.
Yeah. Like I used to collect comics. I don't anymore. It's like, well, then what are you doing? So like, I literally like, there's not any new books that I'm like currently reading. But I went in and I bought like $40 worth of back issues because I really wanted to, speaking of the Batman, I wanted to boost up some of because I used to have a lot of Batman books when I was growing up, like around the time that Jason Todd was introduced and stuff. And I started thinking about it because we were talking about the Batmobile and how like a lot of people are hating on this Batmobile. Yet this back then, there's like Batman had a couple of different Batmobiles during the time of Jason Todd that I can just think of off the top of my head, where one was just a Corvette Stingray, just a black Corvette Stingray that just had the bat symbol as the license plate, and the other one was like a Lamborghini, and they were just plain cars. And so, like, after I said that, after I started thinking about that, I was like, well, dang, like, I guess I really can't complain about it because it's comic book accurate.
Yeah.
You know, like, I guess I got to find something else to hate on it about. No, you know, it's like so, but the thing is I wanted to be able to have those books to be able to show other people, right? You know, when we get in those conversations. And so I did that. I went and I dropped money, and, you know, now one thing I will say, and I'm actually going to be doing a review of this. So, have you read this, guys?
Yes.
You have read. Oh, truth. Maybe you and I need to talk about this afterwards, right?
Yeah.
Because I read part one, and wow, interesting. I want to do a review of it for sure. And I know, Brian, I said I totally let it go last week, man, and I felt bad.
No, it's okay.
Felt bad.
It was a good episode or what, though, right?
That was a great episode. I got my wife into it, dude. I watched.
Right on.
Yes, dude. I watched all 4 episodes again with Tiffany, and she's just like, I love Lower Decks now. So,
well, episode 5 came out today, so I watched.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Episode 5 came out today. So that's the end of this broadcast. No, we could spend literally all night on this, but you know, because we're talking about a lot of different things and everybody's having fun. But you know, I didn't want to out Bruce here, but Bruce then brought it up, and so he said, "Look, all joking aside, I've had it, and I know that he had it." And he said, "So did my wife. The people in our area that have supposedly had it all got over it, except for a nursing home."
That's good.
And you know, that is the good thing, that if you know, I mean, it's obviously bad because the people who obviously were in that nursing home, that's somebody's family. That's, you know, and so I think because of that, we have to do all we can to keep others, you know, safe, and, you know, and take precautions and stuff.
It's real easy. Don't put sick people in the nursing homes, and you'll be just fine. So, I mean, or if you're sick, don't go visit your relatives in a nursing home. Yeah. You know, it got there for a reason, you know?
Yep. Yeah. Well, and people have to work. My wife, she actually, what she does is she manages the people who go in and do in-home care for people.
Awesome.
And oh my gosh, when the whole thing first hit.
Oh, I imagine that's gotta be a nightmare.
Oh my gosh. Like, because you had people that had concerns about having anybody in their house, and then you had people who had concerns about going into other people's houses, you know, and then it was like everybody's having to be tested and everybody's having to be screened, and, you know, like if you feel sick at all, you can't, go in there and stuff. See, Barcelona, that's awesome. So, you know, that's things we got to try to support businesses, because like I said, like with the whole DC thing, everybody can get all up in, you know, and people were trying to go after AT&T about it. Like, oh, they're just looking for a reason to, you know.
Here's the thing. Does Walmart have that? Probably not.
No.
Not specialty stuff.
No.
You know what I mean? They're just going to have maybe a couple graphic novels, if that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're not going to have comic book issues. So support your local businesses. Get out there and buy some damn comic books. All right, don't make me come through this screen.
Let me get the belt.
We got a very special moment.
Unleash the madness upon you. I'm telling you, the Destrucity of Millions. Don't buy the Warrior comic, though. That thing was awful. Kind of
it was.
You didn't want to see what he did to Santa Claus. It was all bad. But anyway.
Oh my gosh.
Get out there and buy a comic book and quit complaining about it.
Hold on just a second. I got your answer to that. Hold on.
You don't actually have that.
Hold on just a second.
I think he does.
Oh my.
Hold on. You ready for this?
I'm scared.
Last person to hold up Vince McMahon for money.
Here we go.
Yes. That was like with the WrestleMania one.
Hulk Hogan. You come in with your maniacs, Hulk Hogan, but you fail to recognize, Hulk Hogan, the power of the warrior.
I used to love when he'd snarl.
That was always creepy to me.
Hold on a second. What did I do with my hat? Oh, there it is. I got.
Bam, 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 bam. Shake the ropes.
That was the best part.
He'd get totally winded before the match.
Yeah,
I like how I made this mask. I made this mask for my son Landon years ago, and I cut this out myself. And who would have known that I would have like doom cocked it? Like look at how it's like off.
Gives it charm. Gives it charm.
Hey now. I am special. My mom told me so.
Well, he did admit that his sources happen to come from 4chan, so you know.
The trusty 4chan.
The trusty.
Oh
4chan.
my gosh, that's a whole other story. I tried to do a 2 cents on nonsense tonight, but Johnny wasn't available. But we were talking about that. Like, oh my gosh. My Ric Flair isn't as good. I'm working on my Ric Flair, Aaron. I mean, I could do the woo styling and profiling, but I don't have the voice down. So
I was trying to work on like a Dusty Rhodes type persona because
you did that really well.
Yeah, it's just hard staying in character. That's the problem.
Well, you get going and you start laughing and yeah.
Next thing you know, you start breaking. And you're just like, poor horseman, man.
Figure that it's true city if he knocks knows the meaning of the word. I'm really being impressed about this wrestling and comic book knowledge. Oh my gosh. But yeah, no, but so that thing's like I just support stuff, guys. If you're in a position where you can support stuff, support it right now, because look, I get it. Everybody's not in the same position. Right? Everybody's not in the same position to be able to support stuff, but like we can't get mad at companies that have to make financial decisions. Like it sucks. It really sucks, man. It really sucks. Look, you guys all know what I do for a living, and we literally saw a report that came out that said something like 30 to 40% of churches are going to close in the next year and a half.
It sucks. But I get it.
And look, I know people make a big deal a lot of times, they talk about, churches, they make so much money. No, they don't. You know what? I get it. There's all these like televangelists and people out here, like who are, ripping you off, for your money. And yes, bless God, send your money now. Yes.
I can buy another gold watch.
Yes. I need an airplane. Right. And there's those people, and those people are just despicable as far as I'm concerned, because most of the people who attend church services, or most of the churches that they're all small churches. Most of the churches in America are 50 people and less.
Yeah.
That's the reality of that. And yes, you're absolutely right. Places of worship struggle with money. You know why? Because my grandmother has been a pastor now for over 40 years. And that woman's never taken a salary. Yet that woman gets up. That woman spends she's almost 80 years old, folks, and she spends every Saturday cooking food for all the people who will be at church on Sunday. She makes that food out of her own money, labors and makes food all day on Saturday. Like, she literally doesn't do anything else on Saturday, because her Saturdays are planned to make food and to make dinners for people that come on, and feeds people on the bad side of town in the city of Flint. Every Sunday, like that's what she does. And I'm not saying this next part to toot our own horn or anything, because it's not, but I just think it's a wonderful thing that's happening. Like my church right now is eliminating, we are working on eliminating up to $10 million of medical debt from 7 different counties here in Michigan, because we're working with a company that literally buys medical debt. So like, say you have medical debt and it's getting ready to be sold to a collection agency, and they sell it pennies on the dollar, whatever. So our church received a sizable blessing from somebody who had passed away. And instead of using that for us, instead of hiring staff or giving us all raises, right? Like you hear all this negative stuff, right? Yeah. But we didn't do that. No, we took I can't remember how much money it is, but like literally it turns out once we got into this thing that like we're paying like half cents because like we didn't think we were going to be we were just hoping to like do something within our own community, within our own county. Turns out we're going to be able to serve 7 counties because we literally almost tripled the buying power because we had enough in that gift to be able to help people. And so there are we don't know the final amount of numbers of the amount of people who are going to be affected by this, but like we didn't put that money that was given by a parishioner who passed away. We didn't just use that money to just pad ourselves or, do something for ourselves. We literally put that to this good work. And it makes me very happy to know that there are people who literally are going to be taken out from under crushing medical debt, that like wouldn't have been able to negotiate that themselves, but we're fortunate to be able to help on that, so that's what happens most of the time. And look, it's not just places of worship. There's just a lot of places that are trying to do good things in communities and trying to do good things to help, especially during this time. I've seen a lot of communities really come together at this time. And, that's
important.
That's super important. I think that's what we got to do more and more is come together. So, it's like, I don't know at the end of the day, what is politically motivated, where people, fall on these things,
If it was anybody in the White House besides the Orange Man, we would not be in this position. I'm just saying. I'm getting serious when I say that, because I honestly think they've tried so many different ways. So let's overhype a disease, try to get them out. You know what I mean? So
yeah. And I know that everybody's got a different, but I do agree with this. I agree that there's a lot right now. Thank you, Jeff. By the way, thank you. She is awesome. I love her. She's pretty cool. She's a pretty cool lady. But I think that it has become a very politically driven, thing right now, and that was your comment, Brian.
Yeah.
You said it, and then
I don't like jumping in on it too much, so I'll say it in the comment section. But like I said,
yeah,
it's not a very popular opinion to have, so it's like I'm not really kind of tentative about putting it out there. I mean, I'll say it all day on my Facebook because that's where I do a bulk of my trolling, but it's just family members at this point, so they all know.
I think the truth may be absolutely 100% correct here on this.
I'm just saying,
100%.
Once that investigation is done, the thing is that we live in very interesting times. When this whole thing started, my boys were coming up to me and saying things like, "Well, Dad, can they really shut stuff down? Are they really going to do that? Are they going to do this? Are they going to do that?" And I at first I was like, "Nah, that ain't going to happen." We've always had threats of this or that or whatever. That ain't
swine flu, whatever.
Yeah, that ain't going to happen.
Get past it.
And then all of a sudden, when they're like, "Yeah, we're shutting stuff down," and then my kids were like, "Can they do that?" And I'm like, "I guess they can."
Yeah, I was like, they can't make us do that by edict. Okay, I guess, all right. I guess we got to now.
Yeah. I guess we are. We're not leaving. We're not going. And I tell you what, man, it was really scary when the first couple times I had to go out and get food. Because I go out once a week, and it was like I was going into a third world country. Like seriously, going shopping and trying to find just basic needs. There's one day I had to go to 5 different stores, 3 different Walmarts, 2 Targets. And actually one other place too. So it was like 6 different stores. It took 5 hours. And Tiffany was texting me going like, "Where are you?" And I'm like, "I'm trying to make sure we get toilet paper."
Same thing happened to me where I live in New York. And when I went to Times Square, it was completely empty. It looked like The Walking Dead. It looked like The Walking Dead. Like 28 days later. It was freakish. Like I was like creeped out. This was like in the afternoon. I was just like, what is going on? I was like, it's the end of the world. I was like, what is happening right now? So I was like, ugh. For
me, it was business as usual. We were kind of in a rural part outside of the main part of like the Reno part of Nevada, which is kind of north. So it's not as dense as, say Vegas or anything like that. So up here, it's kind of more open air and more space to go between businesses and buildings and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was business as usual. People coming in buying air fresheners, car wash,
Wow.
regular random stuff. They're like, oh, I'm home now. I might as well, do this.
Yeah.
Next week it was lawnmower stuff. Oh, hey, I need to get my lawnmower fixed. So they were buying tune-up stuff. So it was like every week. And then as the restrictions kept getting less and less and less, and then they pulled back on the reins and then less and less and less. But like boat stuff, RV stuff, there was a month solid, July, everybody was fixing stuff to get their RVs. And then with the supply shortages, it was really hard to get stuff back on the shelves.
Yeah.
So electrical connectors, jumper cables. We were out of jumper cables for 2 months.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, jumper cables. I'm like, just like the most at random things you could think of. We
That's
ran
crazy. Well, so I got to ask you, because you're up by Reno. So like, did they shut down all the chicken ranches?
No.
No? People weren't socially distancing when they were, doing their legal prostitution?
Well, yeah. No, actually, the funny thing is, one of them's in Mustang.
I'm waiting for. Well, the funny thing is, so the girl that I see.
Well, Candy down there at the brand, she told me that I'd have to come back in about a month or so.
Oh yeah,
Give
told
me
me
a
to
good
use
deal.
hand sanitizer.
They're still open. A lot of sanitizer. It's really safe though. I mean, they before COVID or anything. I mean, you have to go through quite a bit to do it, and it's not cheap. It's not like everyone can afford to go do it either.
Like, yeah, just a random weekend thing, right?
Yeah, I've got a couple $100 in my pocket. What am I going to do without a couple grand? Not saying for a friend, guys.
For a
Sure.
friend. Well, I've watched documentaries before, and like I have seen some of that stuff, and I'm just like, no,
Not for me.
like, nope. I mean, there's just some of the ways that those things are, that's a whole other. We're about to get all the details from Brian about the Bunny Ranch. Oh,
Well,
my
me
God.
more.
it's actually closed because the guy that owned it died a couple years ago.
That's what I heard.
And it's actually I think it's in Carson City proper, but since the red light district there doesn't allow that anymore, it has to be outside of town. Like in Vegas, you can't do it in Vegas proper.
Yeah.
Boulder City or whatever, in outskirts of Vegas to do it.
Mhm.
Same thing up here in Washoe County. You got to go outside, but Mustang's just on the other side of the hill from where I live, actually. So.
Oh wow, that's some crazy stuff, man. But Cisco, had it right here. It's like, I take it seriously. It's about being a team player with this COVID thing, and that's what I agree. Like,
Yeah.
because the thing is I tell everybody, like, look, be safe, make smart decisions, right? Don't be willy-nilly, because the reality is that we're seeing people get sick.
Yeah.
I think a whole lot more people before it's over, people are going to get sick. Right. People are going to get sick. Some are going to get better. The people whose immune systems are not necessarily what they should be or whatever, or it just catches them in a bad way. And that's the crazy thing, is it can just catch you in a bad way. And, and that's it. But, take care of yourselves, and be a team player. Like,
Yeah, just don't be an a-hole about it,
Yeah. Like I see all these people like getting into arguments and stuff in stores and
spraying people with pepper spray.
oh my gosh.
What's wrong with you people? Like,
I just don't get it. I just don't get it, but look, I get everybody has their own right to their own opinions, and I never tell anybody, I never try to tell anybody that, their opinion's wrong. Like Bruce here says, I'm about 2 days away from making myself a tinfoil hat and watching Randy Quaid's YouTube channel all day. Yep, and Cisco got it right. Politicians are the last people to really believe, because the media has agendas also. And
Of course.
and that's the thing. It's really hard. It's really hard to know what to believe sometimes, and like where you're getting your information from, because it's all over the place. It for sure is all over the place. But just be careful, guys. Take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. If you do have family members who are out there, take care of them. But Barcelona just kind of in wrapping this whole thing up, Barcelona brings up the basically the point of the night that was for me is that we all talk about these pop culture things. We all talk about movies. We talk about TV shows. We talk about all these things. It's going to be interesting to see the next few months as these productions come back. How many of them get halted?
Yeah.
Over something like this. How many more stories are we going to see like this? But I also agree. Like, I just find it really interesting that like the whole thing with The Rock. How is it that The Rock, I mean, besides the fact that he may but it's The Rock. I almost don't believe, I know Darth Tasty says it about like, maybe he wanted some privacy or whatever, but like, he obviously doesn't want privacy now. When's the last time The Rock did anything private? You know what I mean? So like, you know what I mean? So it's almost like, well, why are you just coming out now and saying, well, oh, by the way, we got over it. We're all okay now. That's weird. Is that just weird to you?
Kind of gives you that Star Wars vibe. We're all fine now.
He's fine here now.
Oh, I do want to say something though, Enosh.
Yeah.
These things are bad.
Don't they suck?
Oh my God, they're horrible. How do they work?
Dude, they're the worst things on the planet.
Sorry,
What is that?
The only thing I was like, that was the only thing I got out of it. These things are horrible.
Truth, you got to watch my Count Dooku lightsaber review.
Oh, gotcha.
Because the thing is, they used to make these really. Actually, I got them. Well, where are they?
That one that they came with was awesome.
I got a whole stack of those because they used to be made by a company called Master Replicas, and so when they did those, they came with this nice little stand that said Star Wars on it. It was plastic, and you could either put it on a like a mantle or something, and then you could put your lightsaber. It would hold the hilt, and it all was balanced really nice and stuff, and it looked really good. And it said Star Wars in gold on it. And it also had holes on the back where you could drill holes into the wall and put it up on the wall and have it look really nice. Well, I got one up here actually for my double bladed saber. It's up here still. But that being said, back in 2015, when they released the Kylo Ren saber, they stopped that. They started being called the Black Series, and they started being made by Hasbro. And so when they started doing that, that's what they came out with. I remember when I got my Kylo Ren saber, I'm like, what the heck am I supposed to do with that? It's like the 3 seashells from Demolition Man. I'm like, what the heck am I supposed to do with this thing? And the way that the diagram that they show you of like how to use it is stupid.
Yeah, I was like, so I'm gonna hang it downward. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, and it's got those 2 little holes. Hold it up there, man. Hold it up there. So
I'm gonna hold it in front of the Cylon.
There you go.
Yeah. So it's got these 2 little holes, but it doesn't actually show that you can even do it that way.
It's weird.
You could come up with that version, but like it doesn't even show that you can do that way. It doesn't have any washers or anything like that to actually say that you could actually screw that to the wall. And it's acrylic, so it makes it feel like it's going to break.
Yeah.
And
that's what's supposed to be.
Yeah. Well, I guess I also looked at it the other way. I guess I looked at it the other way too, that you could like do it the other way, but then also you can put it, can you show him how it's supposed to be like on a tabletop? Cause it's got that curve to it.
Yeah.
And they want you to balance it somehow with, well, you can either do it like that, where you can stand it up like that.
That's so weird.
Which is dumb. Or they do this thing where you can balance it by the blade, which that's what you want to do. These things, like that. These things are not meant. These things are not meant to be actually clashed into each other.
Worst.
And of course, what are you going to do? They want you to balance the whole thing on the plastic blade.
This
like, are you serious? Yeah, like it doesn't make any sense at all. And that's the cheap crap that they've given us now for like 5 years. And so I got my Count Dooku saber, and I noticed that the Dooku saber was a little bit more. And all of a sudden in there was the old style thing. And I was like, and the thing is, I found a guy locally here actually who's got a bunch of those old versions, but I'm going to need a whole lot more super chats or something, or need a whole lot more people to go and sign and ask me how to sign up for Cash App, because you get $15 a pop, because the guy wanted $50 per thing, and I was like, oh, I can't do that. I just no, I have to spend, because I need like 5 of them, so I need like $250 worth of them. Like, I'm not spending $250 on this stuff, so it really sucked. But
Crazy.
But yeah, no, you're absolutely right, Brian. Those absolutely suck. Oh my gosh, they're just horrible. I don't exactly.
When will this madness end, dude? The madness doesn't end. That's right. There is no end to the madness. The madness just keeps going on and on and on. It comes from the left. It comes from the right, dude. It comes up, brother. It comes up from the bottom. That's right, because the cream rises to the top. That sour milk. That sour milk that your mom gave you, Hulk Hogan. That's right. It was sour milk that your mom gave you that made you turn out that way, brother. That made you lose your hair at a young age. That made you look like you had male pattern baldness. Now, I know we all get there eventually, brother, but let me tell you something. Looking at you at like in your 20s and you look like you're 50, what's the deal with that, dude? I'm not really sure. All I can see is it's sour milk from your mom. The cream rose to the top, and Hulk Hogan, you drank it. You drank it all down. You drank it. You took it all down because you drank it all in, and you thought that you were something, but you were nothing. That's right. You were nothing this whole time because you have no way of fighting the madness when it comes for you, Hulk Hogan, because me and everyone else are coming. You can't stop it. Dig it. I should have been a wrestler, man. I would love, like, there's like a local wrestling company that, like, I don't know, man. There's just something about if
you got to go to channel your inner Jim Cornette.
Jim Cornette with his tennis racket.
Jimmy Hart. Go be the man, baby.
I love it, Truth. He's getting a better promo than Roman Reigns.
What? Standing there.
It's true, though.
Cutting a promo.
Oh man, it's so true. It is so true. It really is true. Like I've wanted to like Roman Reigns, man, as far back as I can remember. And
yeah, it doesn't work.
It's so hard, man.
W now.
What'd you say, Brian?
And I said the only one out of that group with that the Shield that could was he's in AEW now.
Yeah.
I love cutting promos, dude. I used to cut promos when I was a kid in front of the mirror and just like go on, man, and just like do my thing and stuff. Me and my sister, we used to wrestle all the time, dude, WWE style. We broke the bed once. I body slammed her because she was 8 years younger than me, and so like so I was like 13, she was like 5, and we just wrestle. And I remember once I picked her up and I body slammed her on my bed. We broke one of the slats, and so there was like this little dip, and we're like, okay, we're done.
Nobody's gonna know.
Remember the Texas tornado?
Oh, jeez.
Kerry Von Erich when he came back to the Texas tornado, and he was like hobbling all over weird, and like nobody knew why, and it came out that like it was because he was missing a foot.
Yeah, he messed his foot. He lost his foot in the car wreck.
Yeah, and so like, but nobody knew that. They just knew that like he got around really weird. But like his finishing move, I used to do it to my sister all the time, was to like hold somebody by the head, and then like he'd hold him, he'd like hit him, and then he'd spin around, and then like hit him after doing a spin. It was so stupid. Like stuff that as a kid, like you look back now and you go, how did I think that was like?
Well, because his dad, Fritz Von Erich, had the claw. That was his gimmick, was the claw. I do want to ask you, since we're talking wrestling, just off topic here, who is
It's the start of a whole new show, isn't it?
Who's your favorite promo? Honestly, me personally, I'm a superstar Billy Graham guy myself, because you gotta respect where it started.
Man, yeah, dang.
Because I'm the man with the power, the man of the hour, the man with the power, too sweet to be sour.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
The flamboyance.
So
he had the pythons. Oh man.
So it's funny because like it seemed like the WWF guys back when I was a kid, none of them knew where they were going with their promos. It was so far out in left field. The Warrior was just like the epitome of that, right? The Warrior like was just always talking about space and time. And
they got like Bret the Hitman Hart, where it was like, "I'm gonna beat you, eh? And I'm gonna show you on the ring."
Yeah,
Like,
not his best work.
But Hulk Hogan, man, he'd get in there and like he didn't have a clue as to what he was talking about either. Like he was almost just as bad. I mean, he did, but he had an anchor. The Warrior never had an anchor to bring him back. Hulk Hogan, he always knew that if he was getting off way too far, that like he would just bring it back to the 3 demandments, bring it, because he could be talking about, hey, let me tell you something, dude. When the Hulkster comes into Madison Square Garden, brother, that's right, dude. I'm going to come in and I'm going to shake the rafters. I'm going to bring it down. Ooh, yeah. And me and the Macho Man Randy Savage are going to clash there in Madison Square Garden, dude. And the heavens are going to look down at the Hulkster and the 24-inch pythons, and they're going to say,
Hulkster, what do you want to do? And I'm going to say, I want a large fry and a milkshake, dude. And then I'm coming after you, brother, because there's 3 things that you got to remember. And that's training, saying your prayers, and eating lots of chocolate, brother. That's right. And if you do those 3 things, dude, then you're going to totally tear down anything that comes against you, man, because that's what the Hulkster's all about, brother. That's what Hulkamania is all about. And what you going to do when the Hulkster and everyone else runs wild on you?
Oh, yeah. That was the best.
Yeah. So, so like, I love that, but like, yeah, he was like all over the place too. So I gotta admit, man, who's just really good. And I didn't appreciate him when I was a kid, but Ric Flair, man.
Ric Flair?
Yeah.
Because I was always a Hogan kid, like growing up, I was a big Hulk Hogan fan.
No,
and
WCW basically.
Yeah, but I would watch that, I would watch the other stuff, and WCW, NWA. I would watch the AWA when it was on ESPN.
Oh yeah. Vern Gagne's organization.
Dude, I'd watch all that stuff, and yeah, man. But Ric Flair would get crazy, but it always seemed like Ric Flair had it together. Even when he'd get red in the face and he'd start. You remember the promo where he's all doing elbow drops and
profiling, woo, going up.
Oh, he used to wear suits and the Rolexes and the nice hair and the chicks. Oh, he was cool, man.
Yeah. Gavin's absolutely right. Ultimate Warrior did not have a clue what he was saying when he done his promos, but he's still the best. Yeah. There's so many guys that were just crazy, man. But everybody was good in a different way. Like I was just watching a bunch of stuff today about Jake the Snake Roberts.
Oh, dude.
And Jake was very very meticulous,
calculated,
very calculated, and
they say a snake is the deadliest creature.
Macho Man, do you know what I'm going to do to you when I get you in the ring? When I get you in that ring, and I've got my snake there, I got that cobra that you're deathly afraid of. That's right. We've been down this aisle, haven't we, Macho Man? And you're going to see just what it means to get caught up in the coil. He was just like, what? You thought it was almost like ASMR, man. You'd be like,
mm-hmm.
Whoa, that was deep, man. That was some deep stuff right there. The Rock, I was never really big on The Rock, but I gotta admit, he cuts a good promo.
Yes, he does.
How dare you?
Not so much.
Who?
John Cena, not so much.
No, not John Cena.
I think John Cena tries too hard. I think that's his problem.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
well, he wants to be The Rock so bad, you see.
Yeah.
That's so true.
Yeah.
That's so true. No, yeah, I mean, it's just there's so many good ones, man. I don't know if I had to narrow it down to one.
Or Dusty Rhodes too.
Dusty Rhodes, dude. Dusty Rhodes was
the American Dream.
Oh my gosh. He made polka dots look good, dude.
He's just a simple man.
It's just a common man.
He had a sidekick and everything.
No, we got up on this whole thing. That's awesome. We literally went from talking about a major pandemic to what you gonna do, brother? Earthquake. Oh my gosh, that was. I met Hacksaw Jim Duggan. That guy's got the biggest hands I've ever seen in my life. Super nice guy. He's the type of guy that you just wish you could go get a beer with. It was the first time I ever went to a Comic-Con. He was there, and I didn't have any cash on me. And by the end of the day, we found an ATM, and I thought that to get a picture with him was $20, and so it had worked out that I had $20, and we came back at the end of the day, and turns out he was $30. And I was like, he had his jacket on. He had packed up his United States title and everything, and he was leaving. And Tiffany went up to him and said, "Hey, we got $20. Can we get a picture with you?" And he says, "Actually, it's 30." And then he looks at it, he goes, "Oh, hey, don't worry about it. Hold on just a second." And he went over, took his jacket off, got the belt back out and everything, and came right back, took a couple pictures with us, gave the belt to Tiffany. Tiffany's holding the belt and everything. And I mean, he was super nice. And then he just stood there talking with us. It was because the whole place closed at 6:00, and it was a quarter after 6. And he just sat there talking to us, and it was really awesome.
That's
really
awesome.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
All the Butcher, Brutus Beefcake, Jim Cornette, and Ricky Steamboat.
Nice.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. And they're all signed. I got them from the thing. Oh, damn it.
And then he ripped his poster.
R.I.P. Kamala.
Yeah, right. He just passed away too.
Yeah, sucks.
Yeah, I mean, there's some Sergeant Slaughter. Oh my gosh, Sergeant Slaughter was the man, dude. Because I was into GI Joe, and so heck yeah, Sergeant Slaughter. Like, remember when Sergeant Slaughter like went heel, and like just broke every little kid's heart, man. Like started sympathizing with
Iraqis.
the Iraqis. Oh my god, and they did all those bad, like, they probably didn't have Photoshop back then, but basically the equivalent of photoshopping him like meeting Saddam Hussein and shaking hands with his mass murderer. Like, oh my god, and they wanted him to burn the American flag on TV.
What?
They wanted him to burn the American flag, and he said no. And so they ended up doing what they said was the second closest thing, was burning a Hulkamania t-shirt.
That'll do it.
Yep. And
That'll piss off the little Hulkamania.
Yeah. All the little
which I
kids.
gotta say, you know, that WrestleMania 7 match between him and Hogan, if you watch that now, Slaughter was very agile for being a big guy and for being older. He was doing top rope stuff.
Well, shit. Just like Yokozuna, man. He was really,
Yeah.
really active for a big dude. 500.
So I met
Piper.
I met Roddy Piper, and he was super nice. It was literally just a couple months before he died, too. It was just a couple months before he died. He cut some interesting promos.
Yeah. He was pretty good.
Yeah, like Roddy Piper's an interesting thing because we all love Roddy Piper, but I don't think we all know why. Like, he never won a title. Or did he was he Intercontinental Champion? Oh yeah.
The Blue World Order.
BWO.
And
Raven.
Well, Raven created the Blue World Order. Okay.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been so long, man.
He was working with Steven Richards and the Blue Meanie in ECW, and that was their kind of answer to the NWO at the time.
We got to do a wrestling show, man. We got to do a wrestling show on the channel, man. I tell you what, man.
It's so much fun.
I mean, Darth Tasty is a huge wrestling guy. Back when COVID started, man, we did a day because WWE Network was free, and so we did watch parties, and so we watched like our favorite matches. We told everybody, like, tell us your favorite matches, and we'll watch them all together, and it was so much fun. But yeah, he says I'm not currently a wrestling fan, but though I do recall most of the ones you guys talk about, send in support, and say you guys are really cool. I lurk when I can. That's awesome, to Richard. Thank you.
Yeah.
I love the documentaries they have on the network. So whenever they do have like a free weekend, I'll put it on the WWE network. I'll watch. Like,
I was a huge fan until just a little while after CM Punk left.
yeah, and then finding out why he left and all that other BS. Like,
Dude, it just killed it for me. It killed it for my kids. I tell you what, right now, my kids literally went through about a 5-year period, guys, where everything was wrestling. Tiffany and I introduced them to wrestling. They didn't get it at first. They thought it was just like sports, you know? And then once they realized what it was, thank you so much, Richard. You are awesome, man. Thank you so much. And hey, thank you, Zantac, as well. Says, can't watch this live, but came to tell everyone to smash the MFN like button and subscribe for the vibe. I like it. Subscribe for the vibe. That's right. Oh, the Road Warriors.
The
Dude,
Nasty Boys.
The Road Warriors. Oh my gosh. Oh, what a rush.
they were so good. They had to inspire copycats, Demolition. Like,
And I like Demolition. Don't get me wrong. I like Demolition, but dude, Road Warriors, dude, like, were I watched during that time at the beginning of COVID, I watched their documentary on the WWE network.
yeah,
Dude,
it's really sad to hear about what happened to Hawk, man.
oh, for sure.
What happened to him?
He had a lot of problems with drugs and stuff out when right before, during, and after he was with the WWE or at the time. Yeah,
But he got clean.
Sucks.
yeah, but
he
then
got-
yeah.
Yeah.
Did he pass away?
Oh yeah. Yeah. He passed away. Yeah. It's sad. It's sad. But I'll tell you what, man, there was no better tag team. They're absolutely hands down my favorite tag team of all time was the Road Warriors.
And then they became the Legion of Doom.
The Legion of Doom. And I love it because in that thing, they actually confirmed, because I'd always wondered this, like, but they confirmed that they got it from Super Friends.
Nice.
I'd always wondered that, because you're like, well, did they get that from that? And it's like, no, man. See, I guess for me, like, growing up with wrestling back in the day, it was just so much fun. Like, I'm looking at some of these things, like Gavin's talking about, Bobby the Brain Heenan. There will never, ever be another manager as good as Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Oh, not only that, legendary on commentary too. I mean,
oh, absolutely.
He was on the side with McMahon, calling some of the greatest matches of all time. So, almost on par with JR and the King.
Oh, dude, you're good. You've done all you can. You send me free toys, for goodness sake. You're just awesome.
To stay at the church. It's time, talent, and treasure.
Now I agree with this. Cisco is totally right. I'm gonna have to chop up this video and release it as a second video, because it's not gonna make any sense to anybody watching it, right? No, dude. Once Hogan turned heel, I've had 3 renaissances of time in wrestling for me. One was when I was a kid, right? Watching all those old school wrestlers, man, and stuff. The first thing that I remember, I remember being aware of wrestling and watching it occasionally, but I wasn't really aware of the stories and what was going on. I knew that Hulk Hogan battled the Iron Sheik there for a while or whatever, and Rock and Wrestling and stuff like that was on, and the cartoon and everything. But I wasn't really. I had a couple thumb wrestlers. I had Hogan and the Iron Sheik.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, and so I was aware of wrestling. But the first thing that I actually remember ever seeing that was huge amongst all my friends was Hulk Hogan and Brutus the Barber Beefcake versus Macho Man and Zeus. After No Holds Barred came out, me and my friends in gym class, dude, we would wrestle, and because a buddy of mine had the old foam belt, that used to come out, and so we would wrestle and recreate that match and stuff, because everybody loved that, and so so that was the first thing that I remember thinking of wrestling. And so the wrestling was all through that, and then I watched it as a teenager, but I knew a lot of the stories and stuff like that, but I didn't follow it really hard. And then I stopped watching it until I was for a couple of years, until I was about 21, and that's when Hogan turned heel. And when I heard that Hogan turned heel, I was like, what the heck is going on? And I remember just watching that, and I was mesmerized by the NWO. Everybody was. I mean, it was like, what am I watching here? How is this possible that Hulk Hogan turned heel? And
so you were a WCW guy?
Well, you know what? I became that because I was a WWF guy, and I thought that I would, I watched the other stuff, right. but we all got to admit, man, WCW was firing on all cylinders. Everybody was watching WCW. They were winning the ratings wars. They had good content, and this, it's something to be said even for Vince McMahon to this day. He keeps trying to bring back these eras of wrestling where it's you got wrestlers, who have occupations, like a trash guy, or Yankum, instead of before he became Kane, Isaac Yankum, you know what I mean? What are we watching here?
Diesel.
Right? It doesn't make any sense. People want more realism and stuff. That's why they fought, even pushing CM Punk for the longest time.
Well, that's why ECW was so good at the time. It was so good because if it wasn't for ECW, neither one of those companies would have changed their programming either.
Yep,
that's true.
So, and they picked that company clean before they, left the husk. But I got into it because of football. I was on the football team in 98, 99, and that was when the Attitude Era was just getting started. So I just would watch it to keep up with what was going on, and then I eventually got into it as well. So it was just I look back on those times with a lot of nostalgia.
Yeah.
Of course. Oh, well, especially since, if you think about it, that era produced one of the biggest stars that we're talking about tonight.
Oh yeah, The Rock. Yeah,
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is called The Rock for a reason because he is the grandson of King Maivia.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the son of Rocky Johnson.
Yep.
Okay.
Remember when he first came out though with that hair? Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
That smile on his face.
But I'm just saying, if we didn't get that era, we wouldn't have got Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Nope.
We wouldn't have got The Rock. you know, we wouldn't have got anything, and it would have been a footnote. But the best part about it is there's no competition anymore, and I think that's why he's constantly trying to revamp that whole thing with the Monday Night Wars and stuff like that. But unfortunately, it's just one of those things. You can't get those guys out there to do that anymore.
How about you, Truth? What was your era of wrestling and your experience with wrestling?
It was the Attitude Era. I remember watching the first Raw I ever saw was the Raw leading up to Backlash 1999 with The Rock and Stone Cold, where The Rock stole Stone Cold Smoking Skull belt. Mm-hmm. I was just like, from that on, I was just like hooked. I loved Stone Cold. He was my guy. And I remember watching, and I've watched it since, and I stopped watching after 2001 because it just got too silly.
Yeah, the Ruthless Aggression era.
Yeah, it wasn't for me. But I remember leading up to WrestleMania 17, which was like to me, that's my favorite WrestleMania of all time, WrestleMania 17. And when The Rock and Austin had their great match back and forth, it was one of the classic matches. And when Stone Cold turned heel, Stone Cold was my guy, and when he turned heel, I swear to God, I broke down.
You were like JR. You're like,
I remember I took my entire Stone Cold Steve Austin VHS collection and I threw it out the window.
Oh,
and
man.
I remember my mom bought it for me too, and she got so pissed off at me because I was traumatized. I was just like, how can Stone Cold do this? Stone Cold would never team up with Vince McMahon. I turned it off. I went to bed, and I was just like, I was devastated for the entire week. I was just like, you know what? That's it. I'm done with wrestling. I can't take it anymore. But of course, I watched, and you know, it didn't have that same flavor for me. But I was just like, I remember that moment, that WrestleMania 17 moment. That was my Hulk Hogan turning heel on WCW.
Yeah,
I was just like, ugh.
My boys, man, my boys. So when we introduced wrestling to the boys, we literally, Tiffany and I, we were dating, and one night, it was a Saturday night, and we were flipping through channels, and there was absolutely nothing on, and they were playing the replay of Raw because they used to do that on Saturday nights, and then and so Raw ended, and it was the Raw that was like, it was right after, it was like, I think it was the Raw just before CM Punk versus John Cena, where they both had the belt, and you know, CM Punk was threatening to leave with the belt and everything. So like it ended on this big, cliffhanger, and we were like, wait a sec, because we were flipping through the channels, and I said, hey, wrestling's on, and she's like, oh, I used to love wrestling when I was a kid. And so like her and her brother used to watch wrestling all the time. So like we started bonding over this because we were just started dating, and so we started talking about it, and we're sharing all these stories just like we're doing right here, like of all of our favorite wrestlers and stuff. And so then we watched all of that Raw, and then we watched all of SmackDown afters. And so we were so hyped for it, and we tried to tell the boys, and the boys didn't get it. Well, then we showed it to the boys, and when the boys got that there were storylines and there were good guys and bad guys and stuff like that, they really liked it too. Well, then for the next 5 years, guys, everything was wrestling. That's all they wanted. That's all. That's the only toys they wanted. They didn't want any other toys. They didn't want any other gifts, anything. They just wanted wrestlers. And fortunately, we got a toy guy around here who specializes in wrestling and stuff, and he's my toy guy now because now he's expanded to everything. But at the time, like, he was really big, like, and he still has a huge, like, half the store is wrestling stuff. And so he had like loose wrestlers because they would, because like all of a sudden the kids would be like, yeah, like we like all these good wrestlers, but like, who's this Mr. Perfect guy we keep hearing about? Like, why can't we get one of his action figures? And it was like, like, where am I going to go get a Mr. Perfect action figure at this point? And so the thing is, but we did. And so everything was wrestling. Like one Christmas, they all got like, each one of them got 32 figures a piece, because we're finding these figures for like $2 a piece, stuff like that. And so like, they didn't care if they were in the package or not. They just wanted the characters. And so everything was wrestling until two things happened. CM Punk left. Dude, we went to Raw. Like, I am on Raw. This is hilarious. We were at Raw when what's his name? Brock Lesnar first came back, and he was signing a deal to go to the pay-per-view, whatever the pay-per-view was there. And we were in the perfect spot where, like, when you saw us, like, here he's here, and like I'm sitting like right up here, in the stands, like right over his shoulder, right? And of course I'm wearing a Superman shirt because that's what you got to wear when you go to wrestling, right? Somebody's got to be in the Superman shirt. So I'm wearing a black shirt with a red S on it, and I am literally standing up in the seats up here going. Yeah. Well, I didn't think anything about it. Until there was an episode of Talk Soup where WWE took over the whole episode and they showed that clip. So I was on the E channel going right above Brock Lesnar.
That's funny.
Yeah, it was awesome to see that. I was like, yeah, I made it on E. Yeah, and then Talk Soup. But so yeah, their favorite wrestler was CM Punk. He quickly became one of my favorite wrestlers. I am literally one degree of separation away from CM Punk. I worked with a guy for a few years when I worked at Kinko's, who he was a straight edge kid. He wasn't a kid. He was older than me, but he was a straight edge guy. He was from Chicago, all these things. He moved back to Chicago and he got married. And I never knew this, but we're talking one day and I put out on Facebook that we were watching the pay-per-view that night and we were hoping for CM Punk to win. And I hadn't talked to him for a few years. And all of a sudden he messaged back and he goes, yeah, he says, the only claim to fame that I have, the only like famous person that I actually know is a wrestler. He's like, and I don't even like wrestling. And so like, I was like, wait a second.
Is his name Phil?
I was like, hold on. I was like, hold on a second. You're from Chicago. You're straight edge. And so like, I messaged him like, yo, do you know CM Punk? And he's like, yeah, I know Phil. And I'm like, what? He's like, I'll give you one more. I married his ex.
Oh.
So they're all friends.
Yeah.
They're all friends. Like he's friends with his ex, and his ex, the girl that he married, that my friend married, she had her own cooking show on like the cooking channel or whatever. And I was like, wait, what? Like, what? And like, I had a radio show at the time, and I was like, dude, you gotta hook me up, man. I want to have CM Punk on the radio show. And so he actually asked Phil if he'd do it, but it was the whole time like Phil was in like the biggest, like wrestling thing at the time. Like this was before he went heel and all that stuff. So he was at the top of everything. And so, but he actually considered being on my show. And so like, I loved CM Punk, and my son loves, my boys love CM Punk. Everybody, but when that whole thing went down, the boys were already hanging by a thread because it had just gotten so stale.
Because Triple H took over.
Oh my gosh. And so they when CM Punk left, we held on for a little bit, but Raw was 3 hours. And it was like you couldn't keep up with as much content as there was. You got Raw for 3 hours, you got SmackDown for 2 hours, and then they put it like one on Monday night, one on Tuesday night, and it was like the boys, they'd get tired, like seriously, they'd be like, because it started getting dumb where half of Raw was just recapping what happened 15 minutes ago.
Well, yeah, I kind of look at it all like dinner theater. It's like going to medieval times. Root for your sections nights, and then you go home. But if you had to sit there for 6 hours in one sitting and watch medieval times, I'd say I'm good for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
That's awesome, Richard. That's awesome, man. Yeah, I loved working at Kinko's. I worked at Kinko's for like 14 years. I worked there long enough for it to go from being Kinko's to FedEx office. So there you go. Yeah.
FedEx.
Yeah, well, Gavin's referencing like my dogs. We used to joke because they'd wrestle here on the channel. They looked like it was doggy WWE. This is really funny, guys. This is serious. So today I'm watching a wrestling video while I'm getting ready for work, and the dogs just start going at it. And literally, you're talking about Ultimate Warrior. So I was watching this thing about Ultimate Warrior. His theme music is playing, and I swear to God, it was like edging my dogs right on, man. Because like both dogs are like on top of each other. They're like, "Rawr!" And they're like one would slam the other one and stuff. I used to wrestle with Wookiee all the time. Like I would sit there, I'd hold his head and act like I was hitting him and stuff and everything. And then I pick him up and I'd slam him down and I'd go to pin him and I'd go 1, 2, and he'd kick out. And man, I had a lot. I would always Stone Cold Stunner him. He'd come up. I'd be sitting on the bed. And he'd come up behind me like this, and I'd just go out of nowhere, like RKO. I go, RKO out of nowhere on the dog and stuff. And so yeah, it was fun, man. I love wrestling with my dogs and my boys. We used to have all kinds of
diamond cutter,
DDP.
Dude, we got so many wrestling belts around here. Actually, right over here, I've got the Winged Eagle kid belt. If I could have one belt, guys, and let's because we're almost at 2 hours. This is fun. We got to talk wrestling again. We got to do this. We got to bring we'll also have to bring in Darth Tasty sometime. We'll have to do this. We'll have to actually figure this out and do a wrestling night because this is fun. But let's go around the horn. I want to hear your guys, because I've heard a couple of mentioned here. If I could have one wrestling belt, I got the toy belt, but if I could have one real belt, it would be the Winged Eagle belt, the classic 80s Hogan belt. All the people, like Warrior had that, Hogan had that.
Shawn Michaels, did he have that?
Yeah, Shawn Michaels had that. Yeah, because they didn't get rid of it until
he was one of the last to wear it. Yeah,
I
Austin.
wish to God that they would. I mean, because they brought back the original Intercontinental look, and I had hoped for a long time that they would do that. Like, and I don't mean to squash on yours if this is your favorite, but I don't know how it would be. The new WWE belts just suck. Like, oh my gosh! Like, how can you have the same belt like for everything? Like, how can you have just big W's on it? Like, it doesn't even look like a championship belt. It's frustrating. But that's mine. The Winged Eagle belt, it looked like a championship belt. It was just a classic look. It just looked awesome. And I love that. I hate the tag team belts, the penny belts. I don't like those. The Trojans on it. Like, that just no, that's not for me. But whatever. But so truth.
Yeah.
What is your favorite belt? If you could have like one championship belt or whatever of any kind, what would it be?
It's got to be the Attitude Era championship belt. I just the one that The Rock had on WrestleMania 15. It just looked, I don't know, it just looked prestigious. That was at the time where, like, championships actually meant something. Where you had the belt, you were the man. And now it's just like, nowadays you have a belt, just like, oh, okay, well, he has the belt, who cares? Like,
isn't it interesting the guys, talking about that? Isn't it interesting the guys that like never held a championship belt, yet they were still really important? Like Jake the Snake Roberts was never champion.
He was never heavyweight champion.
Yeah, he was never heavyweight champion, but I don't even think he was Intercontinental champion, was he?
No,
I don't think so.
Yeah. So he $1 Million Man.
Yeah. He had to get a belt.
He had to make his own belt. He tried to buy it that one time and he got stripped of it, but like, he was never champion. I'm trying to get $1 Million Man on the channel here right now.
Oh, nice.
Like, I'm reaching out to him because and I've reached out to him. Hopefully I'm trying to get this interview. Oh my gosh. But that's a great belt though.
Yeah,
I love that belt. It's just classic. It's just, again, when I see that belt, just like, it brings back old nostalgic memories of just like, the good old days of wrestling where we actually had good storylines, and the belt, and they actually had champions that were believable, like The Rock, believable, Stone Cold, believable, Triple H, Mankind, Undertaker, like these classic wrestlers. It's just like, yes, there's not now. It's just like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, I've always liked the WCW one. Yeah. No belts has garnered more controversy than that belt. In the early 90s, Ric Flair took it.
Yes. When he came to WWE, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's my second one. That's my that
David
belt.
Arquette won it.
Yeah.
Yep. Cisco hit it right there, man. Yep, absolutely. Like that belt, I gotta say, it looks more like a championship belt even than the Winged Eagle belt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because it's
big gold belt, man.
Big gold belt right in the middle.
Yep.
When Brock Lesnar had that at WrestleMania 33, and Daniel Bryan won it off of him. That was classic stuff, and that was right before they made it the Universal title and ruined everything.
I gotta say that match with Daniel Bryan, when he did that at WrestleMania, even though Undertaker lost that
Yeah.
I still have issues with that. I don't think that should have happened, but whatever.
Well, I was a Giants fan, and he kind of cheered us through the World Series against the Tigers that year. So it was cool.
But you know what? Daniel Bryan made up for that. Made up for the Undertaker losing that night. Like that's the last time. That's the last time I remember being really super excited about somebody winning a championship or like a storyline or something like that, because it was and then they screwed the pooch on the whole thing, man.
They dropped the ball right away.
Oh my gosh, it was just awful, But yeah, man, I'm glad you picked that belt, because that belt is just classic. It's just such a great looking belt. When I worked at Kinko's, I put a fun thing together where I bought one of those kid championship belts, that the big gold belt, and I had us put we had a contest for packing and shipping, and it was funny because I wanted it to be a contest that everybody would do, and it ended up just being me and this other guy that went head to head every month for being able to do the most pack and ship, cells or whatever, and we had the belt on the back court board, and we actually printed out our names and stuff. So I had my name on it and stuff, and it said heavyweight pack and ship champion, whatever. And here's the funny thing. I never lost the belt. I was undefeated. Like I retired with the belt. And when I left the company after 14 years, I took the belt with me. So I pulled a CM Punk, and I was like, they're like, well, what do you mean you're not going to leave the belt? And I'm like, no, I bought this belt out of my own money. The branch didn't buy this belt. Like, it was $15. It's like, who cares? But it's like, no, it's got my name on it. It's had my name on it ever since, because the one guy was like, I finally have a chance to win the thing. And then I'm like, sorry, dude, I'm just really good at what I do. And so like, I took the belt and walked out. And of course I had to, play that up, as I was walking out the door. I was like, got the little kid's belt on my big frame. Like, that's right. I'm taking the belt and I'm leaving.
This is why the company's in the shape it's in. Full crap like that. Drop it like
right. Dropping the mic. Let me tell you something, guys. When I first came to this company, all of you people, you thought that I was crazy. You thought that I wasn't going to be able to pick up the slack and lead this company into the future. But I am the future of this company. I was the future, I am the future, and I will forever be the future of this company.
Peace out.
Month after month after month, I come to work. I put on my shoes. I put on my boots. I put on my hat. I put on my shirt. I put on my pants. I put on my underwear. I put on my socks. I always love it when they go way overboard, right? Like, I put on all of my clothes and I come to work every day and I slave and I grind and I ask people if I could pack and ship their precious items. And you all just stand around looking at me like, oh, he's crazy. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's not the future of this company. Let me tell you something about the future of this company. I've seen the future of this company, and it's me. That's right. Get a good look. Come here. Get a good look at this. You see this face? This is the face of the future of this company. I worked hard. I bought that belt that you were trying to get that never could get. You wanted your hands on this belt. Well, let me tell you something. You can't get your hands on this belt because I've got it in my possession, and I refuse to relinquish what is mine.
Not unless you come down this Sunday.
You want this belt? You come down and get this belt. I remember the day, Tim. Yeah, you remember the day, Tim, when you sent me a Facebook message and you had packed 70 boxes for one guy. And I still beat you. You did that in one day, and I still beat you that month. You still couldn't touch this. I got your hookup. Holla if you hear me. I sell the most package ships. I help the most customers in a month, and you can't come close. But you know what? You're jealous. That's right. You're just a little too green behind the ears. You think that you got something, but the whole time, Enosh is up in your face with the truth. That's right, and not just any truth. No, I got this guy in my corner.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
right. Heck yeah. I got the truth in my corner, and I'm bringing the master of none down here with me, and we're all going to show you what a real beating's like.
We're going to show you. We're going to bring it to you because nobody can stop this faction. You hear me? When we want something, we take it. You can't stop us. He can't stop us. She can't stop us. You in the front row, you fat, stupid idiot. You come here and spend all your money on popcorn and donuts. You can't stop us because what we want is championship gold, baby. And when we want this championship gold, the Poindexter Lounge is going to take that championship gold. And there ain't a thing anybody can do about it.
Borg life.
Yeah. Amen.
I'm gonna cut promos all day, man.
No, it's great.
It's awesome.
For an extra $5.99, just put your name to the person you'd like to cut a promo on, and Enosh will happily do that for you.
Yes, yeah, man, yeah, right. Cash App, and I will record any outgoing message you need.
I was gonna say, as long as it's not the spinner belt, we're good to go. You know?
Oh heck
God,
yeah!
no.
Oh heck yeah! Cylon Scotty says it's okay, man. You don't have to go back to work there ever again. You're safe now.
You're good.
That's how I felt when I walked out of that place, though. To be quite honest with you, like there were so many crazy things that happened before I left, man. It felt like that, man.
It was like the end of the Breakfast Club. You just had one fist in the air and started walking slowly out the door.
Oh my gosh. No, Enosh, you have not beat me, so I am taking your belt this Sunday, pal, on Poindexter Lounge pay-per-view, my belt. Gavin! You come into my house?
Tell him.
Hold on. Let me get this straight, Gavin.
Uh-oh.
You come and you say something like this to me in my house?
His house.
My house. Whose house is it?
Your
Run's
house.
house.
Oh, truth. Whose house is it?
Your house.
Oh, it's my house?
It's your house.
Brian, whose house is it?
Your house.
You see, Brian might be the master of none, but I am master of all that is here. And let me tell you something, Gavin. You want what I got? You bring it, buddy. Come on. You want this? Come on. You want the limousines? Yeah, you want the pretty ladies? You want the fur coats? You want the gold, baby.
Talk to him.
Yeah.
You want what I got? I understand that. I understand that fire in a man's belly when you want what another man's got. When you see something that another man has and you desire that. But let me tell you something. You better find another man.
Ooh.
You better find another man because what I got belongs to me.
Talk to him.
And I ain't giving it to no one.
Tell him.
That's right, because the Poindexter Lounge doesn't take any of that stuff. So you come down to the Poindexter Lounge arena, you're going to get a beat down.
Amen.
And that's the bottom line. Not because Stone Cold says so, because Stone Cold ain't got nothing in the Poindexter Lounge. This is me talking, baby. You bring it. You're going to go away with your tail between your legs because I said so. And you could take that to the bank.
Woo.
Let's do it.
You do not mess with that man.
It's Enosh's house.
Damn right.
I don't have any gold here. I don't know what.
I thought it was Run's house.
My belt. I wish I had the belt out. Right?
Run's house.
Great show.
Oh my gosh. Oh my god. That's so much fun. That's so much fun. I love this. The mic drop. Do a full EP of all kinds of promos. That'd be awesome. Just do like a whole thing about just nothing but promos.
You think you got great sources, but I got a word for you, buddy. You're full of it, and you know it.
No, they're all still awake.
Yeah, it's 8 o'clock where I'm at.
You keep the belt, then I'll just play Miss Pac-Man instead. You know. That's great. You want Miss Pac-Man? I'll bring Miss Pac-Man. Miss Pac-Man on the line, on a pole. Miss Pac-Man on a pole match.
What are we, Vince Russo?
Oh God.
Oh, that's good stuff. That is good stuff. That's so much fun. I got this guy in my corner right back here. What you gonna do when Enosh, Henry Cavill, Brian, Master of None over here on this side, and the truth
Yeah.
run wild on you, baby.
Ooh.
Baby. Put a little bit of all the wrestlers in there, right?
Too hot.
It's too hot to handle. That's right. It's too hot. It's hot to the touch, baby. Oh, guys, this is fun. And there's people watching this. That's the crazy thing. Like, oh my gosh,
It's entertainment.
It is. It's entertaining of some kind, I guess. Right? Like, I will put my gold Shadows of the Empire card on the line. I'm a Triple Crown champion. I got the Return of the Jedi card right here, baby, in the gold. I got all the gold. I got the Empire Strikes Back gold, baby. I got the Triple Crown. Come and get it. Holler if you hear me. God, I hated him. Scott Steiner. I met Scott Steiner and like I just walked right past him. I was just like, dude, no.
Yeah.
I miss the Steiner brothers. You know, like back in the day. But like something happened to that dude, man. That dude went crazy.
Well, he got exposed by Triple H because I know those two had a match and it didn't go well.
Had a flex off afterwards.
Yeah, an arm wrestling contest. I'm like, what is this garbage?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's stupid stuff, man. we need a promoter. I gotta promote you guys. I wanted to get into. You guys are great. That's awesome. That's awesome. Barcelona's just laughing here. Everybody's having a good time. That's right. Whose house is it? It's Enosh's house. That's right. Yup. Having a blast. True master. I got Supergirl more powerful. So the CW doesn't know what the heck they're talking about. If you're getting your information from the CW, Gavin, then I'm sorry for you.
Bang bang, catch a chick.
Bang bang.
So here we go. and if you think that Supergirl is more powerful than Superman, and you're getting your information from the CW, then I got two words for you. You're fired.
I guess it's better than being the official Kiss His Ass club, you know?
Yeah, right. Hey man, all of the stuff is down in the description below. All in all the videos, man. You can reach me at any one of our social medias and all that good stuff. It's fun stuff. Oh my gosh, this is so much fun. Now my throat is gonna like totally die. Have you guys seen the video that I put out that's a couple months ago now of Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage as Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck?
No.
No, now we gotta watch it.
You guys didn't see that?
I'll have to check it out.
Oh my gosh. So like 20 years ago, literally 20 years ago,
wow.
me and my friend Matt, we were driving. I was helping him do something, and he took over a paper route for somebody for like a couple of weeks, and so we're like out at 4 or 5 in the morning in Sarnia, Ontario, Canada, because he lived in Sarnia, and we started joking and we started doing voices like this. We started doing wrestling promos and stupid stuff like as Hulk Hogan and Macho Man, and my Macho Man Randy Savage wasn't as good as it is now back then, but we started doing this whole thing and we made up this whole storyline that Macho Man and Hulk Hogan had retired together in Ventura, California, and they were living together in a mansion and they were looking for odd jobs. And so they found a job at Warner Brothers as the new voices of Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck. And so for years, like we recorded this whole thing. He ended up coming to Michigan and we recorded this whole thing. He had digital recording equipment at the time. And so we just recorded this whole thing and kind of matched it up with that old cartoon Rabbit Season, Duck Season. Right. And so we did the whole thing and it was funny because it just sat there. It was just audio for years. And now that I do video, I finally found a good copy of that video and I synced it up. And so it's actually right here. I'll put a link to it for you guys since we're talking about wrestling tonight because I think you guys will get a kick out of it. It's pretty funny and it tells a story. It's hold on a second here. Yeah, Bugs Bunny. You guys looking in here? Yep, there it is. So I'll put I'll copy it. Oops. But yeah, you guys, I'm interested to hear what you guys think of it, because it always made me laugh. You know, it was always something that I thought was funny. Where can I? Oh, here we go. Copy. All right. Yeah, so I'll post this guys down here in the. But my buddy does Hulk Hogan and I do Macho Man, and yeah, there it is right there. So you guys go ahead and take a look at that. So, well, this has been a fun night. This has been cool. I love how this kind of just like I don't know, just adapted, right? So
COVID, wrestling. What else do you want?
Right, we do it all around here, baby. We
talk anything, you know.
We do it all here. So I think it's perfect. Gavin says, Enosh, has YouTube said yes to your membership yet? As last week you were just waiting on, yeah. So yes, memberships did get approved. What's up, Crush It? We were just talking about you earlier, man. So memberships did get approved. All I have to do is to finish it, I have to create a little video that promotes it. So I have to make a little video that says, hey, you know, come in and join memberships or whatever. So, but yes, so hopefully this next week memberships will start. And I've got all the things laid out already, like what you get and all this stuff. So it's fun. And when you sign up, you get the new member badge. So we got badges.
That's awesome.
Badges. Who needs sticky badges? We need sticky badges. So you get the new member badge. After a month, you get the 1 month badge. After 2 months, you get the very sought after Landon's face badge. The Nerd Family badge. This is the Nerd Family badge. After 6 months, you get the Superboy badge here. And then after a year, if you stick around for a year, you get this one, the prestigious 1 year member badge. Yes, I love that one. That one's cool. And then also we've got some emojis. You'll get this emoji. I don't know. That's the oh really emoji. This is just the Landon's face emoji. You get the Superboy emoji and the super punch emoji. And I got a couple ideas. We're gonna have the thing is, I got to have at least 2 people sign up to get 2 more emojis. So they only give you 4. And so I made those 4. And then we did 2 cents on nonsense. And somebody said, you got to have the Doomcock salt emoji. And I was like, oh, dang it. Yeah, we need to do that. So, yeah, so that's coming. So I'll be announcing that here shortly. And then I don't know, do I still have it up here? No, I don't have it up here. So we've got 2 new shirts. Tomorrow night, we will be doing an episode of 2 Cents on Nonsense, me and Johnny. We're doing a Mike Zero again. And I already put them up on the community page if you guys haven't seen them already, but we got 2 new shirts that we unveiled. So one's a Doomcock shirt that says take 2 of these. It's got 2 salt shakers and it says take 2 of these and don't hold me responsible in the morning. and then the other one is like Mike Zero's logo and it just says zero credibility. And nice. So you can look for those. Those will be available. But yeah, so we got memberships coming, all that fun stuff. Hey guys, thank you to all of our Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. I appreciate all of you guys. I don't know where I don't know how this is going to work because I think a lot of people end up kind of transferring their Patreon to the memberships. But I don't know if I'm going to do that or just like have both options. I'm not sure yet. I don't know if we could figure that out, but we'll definitely figure that out. And so there'll be that. Just like all kinds of fun stuff. Remember, like for all of you guys who gave tonight, you guys are in the running for this guy. I'm going to give him away tomorrow, actually, because usually they do it the first of the month, but it kind of spilled over a little bit. So anybody who's given to the Patreon or anybody who's given anything to the channel, you guys are in the running for this. Of course, there's T-shirts, there's logos, there's all kinds of fun stuff that we got going on that. But yeah, this was a fun night. This was a lot of fun. And don't forget, like I said, guys, if you guys want to make $5 yourself and get $15 donated from Cash App, you might as well. Like it's their cash, not yours. Might as well hit me up on social media and then that way we can bring you more good quality content. And I agree, Jeff, Mick Foley is a legend.
Dude, love. Come on.
Dude, I mean, Cactus Jack, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So so we got lots of fun stuff coming up. Gavin, we will be adding more emojis as we get people signed up to be. You get more emojis. The more people you have signed up, the more emojis you get. So so definitely be looking for that, guys. Thank you for joining me tonight.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you for having me.
This was a blast, man. You
Yeah.
guys were great to have on, and I think it was some good quality stuff. I think we had a really good conversation. If I had to say so, I think we had a good conversation about some stuff that's important that a lot of people can't have. That a lot of people can't have a conversation about, and that just goes to show you that we got a good group of people here. You guys are awesome, and I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys. Obviously, you guys, both of you, and then I appreciate all of you guys watching. You guys make this fun. And so just keep being nerdy, keep doing what you do, take care of each other, guys. If you do have people in your life who, are, at risk or whatever, you know what, just make sure that they're okay. Check in on them. I love, Bruce here, Jenner Custom Toys. He says it so much. And it's just, check in on people.
Yeah.
Don't go too long without checking in on somebody and making sure that they're, they're doing okay, and do what you can, right? Do what you can, and remember, it's not always about your convenience. Sometimes it's about putting other people ahead of yourself, right? And so, and let's just hope and pray that that the Rock ends up being okay. The Rock, because the Rock, it doesn't matter what COVID-19 wants to. I pulled that on my son the other day. He was saying something, and I was like, "Oh yeah, you think that, huh?" And I was like, "It doesn't matter what you." And then of course my dog Harley Quinn, she's a female dog, so I said it, because anytime we start wrestling around the house, the dogs want to get involved, and so I started doing that. And she comes up, she's like beating up on me at the same time, like biting at me and stuff. I was like, "Oh yeah, you gotta get your little in on this," and they just the kids looked at me like, "What?" I'm like, "That's what she is." That's what she is.
Yeah, we're getting technical here.
Because they weren't expecting that. They're just like, "What?" And I'm like, "I see how you got to do this. You got to get them to do your dirty work for you. I see how it is." But hey, no, this is fun. But like I said, guys, just remember to take care of the people. Hopefully, Pattinson gets better quickly.
He's Batman, bro. He can overcome anything.
Yeah, but he hasn't been working out.
I'm Robert Pattinson, asshole.
I haven't been working out though, and I am not. I don't know, man. The way Brian brought up a really good point though. The way was it Brian that brought up the point that how he looked? Yeah,
he looked sick. So
man, yeah.
Maybe he had it when we were talking to him, and
oh boy,
hopefully everything's better now.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, I hope that he gets better. I hope that all gets. And then don't forget, guys. We got more Crisis on Infinite streams coming up here in just a little over a week. So,
oh yeah, that's right.
We got Fandom Part 2.
Yeah.
Part 2. I'm hoping for some new Superman stuff. I'm hoping that we get some more of this guy right here in mini forms for sure.
Yeah.
And this guy without a mask. He's Superman, folks.
It's not Kryptonite 19, okay?
Right? Here's the big reveal that's coming up at Fandom. Right there.
There you go.
Enosh from Earth 43.
I'll take it.
Better than Tyler Hoechlin.
You know what? Yes, it is. even with a flash hat on. All right, guys. Hey, thanks for joining us. You guys make this fun. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys for all that you do. Hey, let's have conversations this week for the rest of the week or whatever on social media. So hit us up on social media. And where can we find you, Brian?
My channel, Brian Hill, Master of None.
Right, are you on Twitter?
Yeah, it's a kind of a weird Twitter handle, but I'm also on Twitter as I think it's Master of None, but
okay.
B Hill 170167.
Heck yeah, I got you. And the Truth, where can we find you, Truth?
You can find my YouTube channel, The Truth 31, and this Sunday I will be streaming with my co-hosts, Jo and Ethan, and we will be breaking down the masterpiece, the superhero epic known as Justice League. Ooh. And you guys don't want to miss that because there's going to be an epic rant coming your way.
Yeah.
And you can find me on Twitter at Truth31The. So
That's right. He's going to cut a massive promo on Justice League. Bring him. That's right, brother. Because let me tell you something, dude. When I go to the top rope, I get up there on the top rope and I say, you know what? I got to bring this whole thing to an end. Uh-oh. What happened there?
Save just one.
Jeff Johns cut you off. That's what happened.
Oh, my gosh.
He started going off about the Justice League.
Yeah.
Warner Brothers watching.
Hold on a second. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
I can hear you.
I don't know what happened. Oh, you know what happened? I know what happened.
Your battery died, I think.
Yeah.
Joss Whedon.
Hold on a second. You know what I did?
Accountability over entertainment.
There you go.
Hold on. I'm trying to end the thing. I know. I wish I had that right now.
Technical difficulties.
Hold on. We can't end on that note. Hold on a second here. What in the world? Come on.
You need those little technical difficulties.
Exactly.
Parts.
Also, real quick, The Boys season 2 just dropped the first 3 episodes. So,
dude, I gotta finish that. Dude, I'm finishing. Yeah. I'm finishing season 1. I finally got to see season 1. I'm halfway through. So
it's amazing.
It is.
Warner Brothers.
and they're releasing toys. They're releasing a Homelander toy. I got it to work. Yay.
There you go.
I unplugged it because I was charging my phone and I didn't realize that was what I unplugged. Professional. We are here, buddy. But no, man, The Boys is such a good show. Me and Tiffany and Isaac are watching that. It is so good. So good.
It's amazing.
But anyways, like I was saying, I gotta end this. What? Oh my gosh, you gotta be kidding me. Come on, it's plugged in.
Damn you, Whedon.
It is plugged in.
Damn
what in the world's going on here? Hold on, I gotta give it some slack. That's what I gotta do. Okay, I gotta unplug it here. Professional stuff going out here. Come on.
Right.
Come on.
Just having a little technical difficulty.
You gotta be kidding me. Like, what the heck? Oh, here. All right.
Move along.
Okay, I think I got it now. I got this thing plugged in. Right? It's all plugged in, so it's not gonna. Oh, no.
Fiery, but mostly.
Stay on.
You gotta find the hole.
I don't know what's going on, folks. This sucks. Hold on a second. I'm just gonna do this. Hold on. Wait a second here. I'm just gonna switch. I'm gonna switch to. You can't stop me.
Right.
That's right. You can't stop me, baby. I'll just use the laptop thing, man. What in the world? Anyways, what I was saying, brother, is you got to look at things like this in a positive state of mind. Yeah. See, because the thing is sometimes the darkness is going to close in on around you. Yeah, it's going to say that your battery's low, that you got no place to go, you got nowhere to turn, right? And there's one little thing that you got to remember. There's always a place for you here at the Poindexter Lounge. Yeah, that's right. You can come to the Poindexter Lounge, and it doesn't matter if you like Macho Man Randy Savage or the Hulkster is the 2-time and 2-bit guy that he is trying to steal Miss Elizabeth. That's right. That's scum of the earth. But you know what? The Macho Man is always ready to go to the top rope, yeah, and to come down with a big elbow on all things, yeah, that might try to make people feel insecure about their own nerddom, about their fandom. Don't let anybody tell you that your fandom doesn't matter. Let the cream rise to the top. Let the nerddom rise to the top. Yeah, that's right. Do it right now. Just get it. Yeah, get it. You can kick it, you can dig it, you can get it, whatever you got to do. Get up there, bring it down that big elbow, and let it happen. And be the nerd that you're supposed to be. All right, Elizabeth, we're getting out of here. We'll see you guys next time.
That guy.
That's right. We'll see you guys next time here in the Poindexter Lounge. Oh, yeah.